There's a legend round here. A killer buried, but not dead. A curse on Crystal Lake. A death curse. Jason Voorhees' curse. They say he died as a boy, but he keeps coming back. Few have seen him and lived. Some have even tried to stop him. No one can.
Jason's alive. He's even more powerful now. Jason belongs in hell. I'm gonna see he gets there. Jason, come on! Come and get me! It's me you won't remember!
Come on, you pussy!
People forget. He's down there, waiting.
Slipcase, Michael Felsher, slipcase, Michael Felsher, slipcase, Michael Felsher, slip. Get slippy with it, slippy motherfucker, slipcase my Michael Felsher. Oh, goddamn, get slippy with that motherfucker. Make some DVD extras, goddamn it, hurry. I wanna watch some DVDs. Slippy, case Felsher, baby. Whoa, soaking now. Fail.
Let's get slippy.
Bitch, ooh-ah.
Let's get slippy tonight.
It just feels right.
Let's get 2 scoops from this motherfucker. Slippy tonight.
Slipcase, Michael Felsher,
Slipcase, Michael Felsher, slipcase.
That was
Get 2
fantastic.
scoops from that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Tonight.
2 scoops from that motherfucker.
How's my volume now, by the way?
It's really good.
Very
now.
good.
Yeah, it's only set to 50% on my system. That's why.
Oh. Well, I'm glad we got that figured out. But happy Friday the 13th, everybody. And
Yes.
a lot of people have been looking forward to this show.
Why?
They want to hear what you have to say. We talk to you all the time about physical media and shit. Like, that's usually all we ever talk about. So now we're actually discussing a franchise, the Friday the 13th franchise. So everybody can get your thoughts on this series and your ranking from worst to best. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Here's the thing, too. Like, as long as I've known you, I have no idea what you're going to pick on this list either.
Really?
I mean, I know, like, I think I know what some of your favorite ones are, but I have no idea which ones you hate.
Well, I did a ranking previously on an episode of the Spooky Picture Show. We discussed the whole franchise and we all ranked. I don't remember how I ranked it, and I imagine what I'm going to tell you tonight is going to be very different because it changes. You know, it just depends on.
It does.
You know, you ask me tomorrow, my ranking might be different. So aside from maybe like the first 3 or 4 spots, those are almost always consistent. But everything underneath that depends on when did I last watch some of these and what kind of what my mood is. So so you can take this ranking to the bank for tonight, and then after that, I can't promise whether it's accurate anymore.
Cool. Already got 126 people checking this out, so we appreciate everybody tuning in. And this is a multi-stream. I mean, I think we're a little bit everywhere tonight, right? Did you get linked up on your Facebook, Slippy?
I think so.
I think it is. I think I see it on there. Yeah, we're on the Born2BeRad channel as well. And we are on the brand new DEADPIT Kick channel. Boys, Kick.
I like that name, Keith Stofferson. That's a good name.
Queef Stofferson.
I don't appreciate the fact that he's calling us all dumb, though.
Yeah, but
well, I mean, he knows the crowd we're talking. It's just
the
ain't right.
Eerie Guts.
Well, you know
throwing
what?
down
CK, take a shit on him.
Shit on you, motherfucker. Fuck you talking shit about me. What the
There you
hell?
go. That's what I was.
Get off my porch, bitch.
Whatever it is, gotta take a shit on it.
When there's a problem, shit on
it. And if they're far away, put it in a box and mail it to them.
You gotta get that.
I want you to shit in the box. Send it over.
We did find that stream though. So
Really?
I did put it up on Patreon and labeled it and everything. It was a shit in a box stream.
Oh, yeah.
Exclusive.
Screen Factor wants me to send back there night, but I'll tell you what, I'll shit in the box and I'll mail it to them.
What's funny is like I was checking some of it out and it wasn't even like I was mad. I was just like casually saying, well,
Yeah.
just shit in the box.
No,
it
I
caused
mean-
a firestorm over at Screen Factor. The one guy over there, he was just like, I can't believe they would tell people to shit in a box and send us the shit in their box. It's just, that's beyond the pale. Oh.
Now I really wish we would have shit in a box. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could have secretly kind of done it, like put it in a Ziploc bag or something where it wouldn't you wouldn't be
you
able
can't
to
really
smell it.
dust for fingerprints on shit.
Or what you could do is just get a lot of people to send their Cologuard tests to them instead, Just redirect them all there. It's just like,
There you
well,
go.
I thought you were the processing center. I didn't know.
I'm almost positive somebody sent the shit. Somebody had to be funny.
I hope that one guy's the one that opened it too. Probably not. But
No,
I'd say that'd be the
Oh,
last.
once we got one of our night breeds back.
DEADPIT.
like, this is pretty heavy for a night breed set. This is like, did they order maybe 2 of the sets? This is a big package.
Man, this is a hefty set.
Big shout out to Eerie Guts gifting 10 DEADPIT Radio memberships. So we greatly appreciate that, sir, for sure. And
It's always weird because I did one of those Cologuard tests a couple years ago. In fact, I got to do another one soon. And it's always that awkward thing when you have to bring it into UPS because everybody knows what it is. There's no hiding what the box is. And they're just like, here you go. And they're like, yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it's like, all right, we're just going to pretend this didn't happen. Yeah, right. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, good day to you.
But welcome everybody. Tons of people in the chat. I guess we can go ahead and because this is like a casual conversation is usually how we do it.
No, I demand a formal conversation with rules and referees and
We're using Robert's Rules of Order
Robert's Rules of Order. Yes.
for this show.
I object. Eject that person from the chat immediately.
So yeah, Friday the 13th. This is the only Friday the 13th of 2025 as well. Did you guys know that?
Yes.
It's crazy. Yeah.
There is 3 next year though, if I'm not mistaken.
3.
I think there's 3. I think there's 2 is in back-to-back months, which is very unusual.
We're going to have a lot of shit next year then, aren't we?
Yeah.
Got to figure out which one of them days you're going to release them 4Ks on.
Yeah.
How's the Nightmare on Elm Street box coming along real quick here?
I have no fucking idea.
Are they going to show us those pictures of what the thing's going to look like? $300 set.
Bite the shit out of him.
He is, actually. He likes to play, and then there's times where it's like, you better stop it, motherfucker.
you can pet for so long and it's great, but then the second they, get away.
Okay, you're ouch.
What's on Arsenio Hall tonight, Garrett? And you got Friday 13th 3 playing back there. Right?
I do get Friday 3 playing right now.
Michael Piatkowski, $5 Australian. Is everybody excited for Fright Night 2 4K announcement?
I don't know why.
Tonight?
Ain't no 4K announcement coming tonight.
Yeah, tonight. Sam's going to tell us when it's coming out.
I came on for a Friday the
are.
13th show. That's
Unveiling
all I'm
the
fucking
artwork.
here to do. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to start, hey, when's that Peter Butter Solution 4K coming, Slippy?
Slippy, man, hey.
I'm down for that.
Severin, you was laughing at me, man, for years, but Severin has made the bank on Friday, or on the Peanut Butter Solution.
Yeah, that has
Blu-ray.
financed everything they've done since then.
Pretty much.
Was the Peanut Butter Solution. Yeah.
So I'm telling you need to listen to us when it comes to the King Frat thing, man. Smell-O-Vision slip cover. And,
Anyway.
All right, so all 12, there's 12 Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah.
And, we're counting even Freddy versus Jason, which is more or less a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, I think. But
Well, no, it's Freddy versus Jason, so it's a 50-50, so I would say.
kind of, but Jason's a big pussy in it, so.
What the hell?
He's like kissing
Jason's like this
Destiny's
big
Child
dumb-
or whatever.
Dumb lumbering pussy.
He really is. Like that's,
I'm gonna guess that one doesn't rank very high on his list.
I think it was
Just
dead last.
I think it was dead last on mine too.
Yeah. Oh, look at this one big ass dumb ass Jason.
I don't remember that dialogue. I don't remember him walking around going, "Oh, about this and I'm good, I don't remember that. I don't.
I kill people.
That's not what he said.
That's what he
I
said.
kill people.
I kill people.
That would have changed the tone of that movie in a big
That
hurry.
would have
that's
been
for
that would have been a lot better if he was just like, I'm out in the woods.
I'm big dumb ass 8 foot tall Jason out in the wood.
That basically was what it was like. Though. Freddy was
He was like gray. He had like a gray head.
Yeah, just like a generic, like, I don't know. That's the most generic Jason, I gotta say. We need to do like a tier ranking show at some point too on all the Jason Voorhees.
Like the outfits.
Yeah, just the characters of Jason throughout the years and everything. But
We got 3 next year to work on. So
that's true. That could be one of them.
Yeah.
So, Slippy, what is your least favorite in all of the series? What is the worst, in your opinion?
The remake. I'm not a fan of that in any way, shape, or form. Didn't bring anything original to the party. I mean, Derek Mears made a good Jason. That was fine. But the characters were annoying as hell. I didn't think the kills were very creative, except for one where someone got an arrow in the head under the lake or something like that. I can't remember the details of it. And some of the dialogue was so bad. Like, for example, your tits are stupendous. Perfect nipple placement. Love that.
Everybody loves that.
Yeah, that's a great line. And then the moment where some character drops his gun in a puddle, it's like, "Where are you, gun?"
Well, I mean,
I'm like the gun's gonna stand up and go, "I'm here, boss." I mean, it's just like it was just, oh god. So no, that didn't bring anything to the party that I really enjoyed at all.
How about this goalie is pissed?
he did say that, didn't he? God damn.
Yeah, it was just, and then the whole idea of Jason being a weed farmer.
He cultivates medicinal marijuana.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
it's
he's
like,
trying.
all right, I'd like to see him selling dime
They
bags on the
did.
corner.
Briefly
Ahead of the
bring
game.
back Tater Sack Jason in it, though. I kind of like that.
No, the look of Jason was fine. Again, I think Derek Mears did a good job, and it was nice to see kind of the pre-zombie Jason back in a way, but it wasn't enough to make me give a shit about anything that was going on in that movie. It was just like, with all the talent involved and all the things you've learned from the series, this was the best you could do for a remake. That, and it's like, and he didn't have a very high bar to clear either. This wasn't exactly Citizen Kane. So it's like, guys. So yeah.
That girl did have some stupendous nipple placement and
Yes,
boobalas, though.
Whether I
It was
agreed with him
wonderful.
or not is
God
not the
bless
issue. I
America.
just thought it was a terrible bit of dialogue.
I feel like Derek
was the-
Mears deserved more than that movie, though. Like he's a genuinely nice guy, and like,
Derek's a great guy, and he's very good in the part.
yeah,
But it's like he can't save that whole movie. That's the problem. There's just no way to.
Yeah, the blonde Willa Ford. She was like a singer, I think. She tried.
she tried really hard.
They had some good-looking girls in that movie.
It's
I'll
hard to
at least
believe
say
that movie's already 16 years old at this point.
Oh God,
That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
just
hated. But the guy from Supernatural, Jared Padalecki.
Padalecki's in it. I mean,
Yeah.
Again, they have some good cast members in there, and it
Well, I
was.
thought
it
he
didn't-
sucked, though. I'm not a fan of his.
But it just, I don't
I thought that
know.
was gonna be the saving.
He's
grace.
like the
Nothing-
backpacking Abercrombie and Fitch dude.
Nothing about that movie was.
He's a
very
traveling Abercrombie and Fitch salesman.
It's
He's
like,
like,
He's going to
These
get Jason some new
these
clothes.
crew
and
necks
stuff.
I got.
I will say this, though, like, out of all the movies that I've seen from Marcus Nispel, this is probably my favorite one.
God,
Boy, that's not good.
Yeah, not saying a lot either.
Yeah.
And I
You
just
think-
worked on the Blu-ray 4K of the Chainsaw remake, and it
I'm sorry.
did not renew my appreciation for that movie at all.
Really?
Marcus
No.
Nispel had made a post about, like, the remaster on it.
Uh-huh.
Did they change the look of the movie at
I
all?
have no idea.
Oh, okay, you didn't see it.
No idea. I just provided special. Actually, my friend Heather Buckley really stepped in to help produce that stuff because I was just so busy. But we got some really
fuck
cool
with it.
stuff, and it was.
No.
I'm glad we did. I'm happy to work on it. But yeah, that movie. Ugh. But yeah, I would say that is Friday the 13th the remake better? That's kind of like a reverse Sophie's Choice, where it's like, you know what, just take both kids. I'm cool. I don't want either one of them.
What I think is funny, though, is Arrow chose to use Leatherface using the sewing machine as the damn cover.
Yeah, that is weird.
That's, to me, that was one of the more pathetic things that was in the entire freaking movie, but
I don't. It's blah, blah, blah.
it's a turd sandwich, so.
But,
But,
yes, in terms of worst, for me, by a considerable margin, the Friday remake is my least favorite. I can't imagine any situation in which I would watch that again.
What's interesting, though, is like that movie made a ton of money when it came out.
Well, in its first weekend, it did.
yeah.
And then it had a calamitous drop off in the second because the word got out. See, it's easy to open these movies. I mean, it's a Friday the 13th movie. You do a good marketing campaign. There's huge name recognition. And so everybody goes that first weekend, and then everyone walks out going, woof. And then by the time the second weekend rolls around, I don't remember what the drop-off was, but it was huge. I think it set a record at the time for, like, the second weekend drop-off of all. I mean, it was really bad. So it didn't really. That's why they didn't do another one right away, because it was such a precipitous fall off from the first weekend. They're like, "Ooh, maybe we should actually concentrate on making a good movie." Well, that's not what we do. Well, then let's not make another one. You know, all those Platinum Dunes films were really hard to get through.
Channel TJ, this is just Slippy's list. We've already done our rankings, so you have to go back and check those out. So, actually, what is me and Uncle Bill have done separate rankings. Garrett did a separate ranking. We did Rambo and Stuntman's like a few months ago. So there's a bunch of rankings going on here. So there's plenty of streams for you guys to check out.
Slippy showing off my vocabulary. Yeah, I know some words. Sorry. Friday
he's a
remake
smart man.
bad. Makes me want to shit.
Get on it. I hate that movie.
I shit on it.
Shit on it and shit on you. All right. So continuing on.
So what's the next one up on the list?
What's
Number
next?
11.
Let's continue.
Now, this one might be a little controversial, but I have never been a fan of, and I hardly, out of all the original Paramount films, it's the one I go back to
Oh no,
the
already
least.
a Paramount.
I am not a fan of Friday the 13th Part 3 at all.
Ooh.
It's just...
I'm really not either though that much because it's stupid and the characters are
it's
awful.
really
and,
lame.
like,
The characters are too goofy by far for me. I don't really get engaged with the story. The kills are okay at times, but the 3D effects really ruin it for me because they're so goddamn goofy. Because again, it's that 3D of, hey, would you like something to drink? You know, I'm like, okay. and they really don't play well in 2D at all.
The broomstick or whatever it is.
And then the eyeball popping out and shit like
yo-yo.
that. And also a lot of it's cut too.
Yep.
You know, like when the guy's doing the handstand and originally there was supposed to be a lot more blood there, but it's all gone. And I don't know. Friday 3 just I cannot get into that movie no matter what. And it's the one out of all the original films, the original 8, that I have gone back to the least. I just don't care.
I think I like. Yeah, I burnt myself out in part. I still like it, but yeah, I watched it so much back in the day. I don't hardly ever revisit it nowadays.
Yeah.
The only part I really like about that movie are the bikers. The whole scene with the bikers and everything, and
The
Shelley and
bikers
all
were
that.
okay, but yeah, again, I thought they were a little bit too goofy at times. And you know, Shelley.
You didn't like Felicia Rashad? I swear to God, if that's not her,
no,
like, that's somebody. That,
That's not her.
That's not her.
Incredibly
But
like
at the
her.
end of the day, like Shelley, it was just like, please kill him. Hurry up. I mean, I know he's responsible in a way for Jason getting the mask.
His gimmick is so killer too. He's like, nobody likes me, so I'm gonna scare the shit out of all of them.
I'm just a fat, curly-headed piece of shit.
It's like, what?
And
When
the
is
fact
that an
he's
option?
the fact that he's a lawyer now and has had a lot to do. He was actually the actor who played Shelley, Larry Zerner. He was the rights lawyer that helped clear the stuff for Hearts of Darkness. He came in to help on that, and he's a really cool guy. Nothing on him at all, but that character was just like, Jason. He's over there. Just could you hurry up, please? Grab the hockey mask, Jason, and then get rid of him. You don't need him anymore after that.
I think that it's also like one of the worst leading lady, like one of the worst final girls in that.
I didn't have anything against Dana Kimmel. She was fine as far as it went, but you know, it just
her backstory in that though.
Yeah, I didn't ever.
ridiculous.
That was weird. It's just like, wait, so did Jason rape somebody?
That
or
was
what
a
the
weird
hell?
backstory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that was originally supposed to be the case for sure, but yeah, they changed it just a tad.
yeah. How the hell would that have worked? I mean, that was just kind of.
That'd be killer if she was pregnant too.
Yeah,
Instead of the Tracy Savage's character's pregnant, she
They didn't really keep that storyline going to the rest of the movies. did they?
No, that was one where they're like, we're just gonna forget about it.
I'll tell you something else too. Great guy, Paul Cracker, but what a shitty actor.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember much about it, except again it's just one that I think it says something to me that out of all the Friday the 13th movies, with the exception of the remake, it's the one that I never have any desire to go back to. Is Part 3. So that tells me more about Part 3 than anything else, really.
Garrett,
I feel like part 3 is like, it was probably either my number 1 or number 2.
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, it was real high up on your list
Well,
for sure.
that's cool. Again,
Yeah.
all I'm saying is how for everyone out there, it's just how I feel. I'm not right or wrong. This is how I feel about it. That's what makes it great.
No.
Everyone has different,
Oh,
feelings
you're bound to
on these
pissing
things,
people
so.
off, though. You know how it is on the internet.
We all piss people off.
Oh,
People back,
I know it's
no.
going to piss people off. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, it's just my opinion. You could take it for what it's
I
worth
love
or
the
not.
disco theme, though.
That is actually, I've actually warmed up to that over the years.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this theme is, because this was 1983 when that came out. So it's like, this is already like 4 years too late for this kind of theme. Why are they doing this?
Right. I think it was like, if I'm not mistaken, Harry Manfredini just kind of come up with it for fun or whatever, and then they used
And
it.
then
right?
someone went, we're going to use that. I'm sure Harry was
Yeah.
like, oh shit. No, don't do it. It was a joke. But it actually is pretty well done, actually. I do enjoy, and I do enjoy the credits, it's just like, yeah.
I did get a chance to check out the Scream Factory, the last version of it that was on 3D on a projector and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That 3D, even though it is very gimmicky, but it works very well.
See, now that's another problem with me is I can't see 3D. Because my left eye was born with a defect, so it fucks up 3D for me, so I can't see it.
Yeah.
So that's one aspect of that. I might rank it higher, actually, if that was something I was able to actually enjoy, but I can't, so it's just like, well. So maybe there's a little bit of an unfair bias there, but at the end of the day, the movie isn't giving me much of anything else to enjoy, so, at the end of the day.
Slippy has a robot eye, what?
Yeah.
What the?
A robot eye?
He's like the Terminator in one.
How does that? Well, it doesn't work then because that's really stupid to have a robot eye that doesn't fucking work.
It's just red. Dun, 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 dun.
That's going to be the next time we have you on the show. I got to prepare the robot eye in the thumbnail.
Why do I have a robot eye that's fucked up? Ah, this is so dumb.
The return of Slippy Judgment Day or whatever.
Yeah. I don't like Friday the 13th 3 at all. It's terrible.
Just Slippinator.
It's terrible movie. The 3D.
Make sure at the end of the show you just say, "I'll be back."
I'll be
It's a robot eye out of left field. Like, no.
It's just like he just established like a
So
whole new gimmick
apparently
now.
this guy seems to think, he has a birth defect in his left eye, so he just got a robot eye then.
Fucking robot
Because
eye.
that's
gonna
how
be-
that shit works.
It's gonna be shirts now. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, I went to the Apple store and they gave me an eye, and then I just.
I mean, Elon Musk could be like designing this robot eye or
I
something.
wouldn't
Maybe we don't know
trust
about
a
it.
lunge from that motherfucker,
lunch.
let alone him putting a goddamn robot eye in me.
You could buy it on Amazon.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Jesus.
well, that derailed quickly, didn't it?
I'm an AI
I got
bot.
the robot eye.
I'm an AI bot. Yes. Okay. So we're here to discuss the Friday the 13th series. What is your preferred ranking?
It's just an AI Slippy ranking them all.
Oh,
It is a pleasure to see you, CK and Uncle Bill.
Oh my god.
Big Killer favorite did CKAI. Shit in on it and shit into the box.
I will shit on it. I will shit on everything. What's
Can I
that?
help
Can
you
I
with
shit on
something?
it?
AI is getting pretty good, man.
Shit in it or on it.
The AI updated version of your old school theme is pretty damn good.
Yeah, it was fine until there was something at the end I didn't like. But then again, there's always something I don't. You always find a way to insult me at the very end of it somehow. It's like, give me 2 scoops, motherfucker. It's like, come on. And just, I protest the whole thing.
We're waiting for 2 scoops, and I mean,
You ain't gonna get none.
we're gonna get some
Oh,
scoops.
is that your favorite part?
Let's get slippy. Let's get slippy tonight.
It just feels right.
Let's get 2 scoops from this motherfucker.
That part.
Slippy tonight.
I get called a motherfucker in my own song. It's just like, and I met the gentleman who wrote, or the guy wrote my song.
One of your songs, yeah.
At Living Dead Weekend, and I was actually very complimentary. I would be more upset about the songs, except they're really good songs. That's the
Very
thing.
catchy.
It's just like, God damn it, if they weren't good, I'd be pissed. But they're
2
really
scoops from that motherfucker.
All right. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on the Friday 3.
All right, number 10 then.
That would be Freddy versus Jason,
That's fair
which
enough.
I actually enjoy. I really do enjoy it. It's just that my problems with it have increased over the years because other than Jason and Freddy really walloping the shit out of each other, which they do, and so the movie does deliver on that in a big way. The last 15 minutes of that movie are really fucking fun. Everything else leading up to it is kind of not so much. But it wasn't so bad that I couldn't enjoy myself at least. I was able to walk out of the theater going, well, I wanted Freddy and Jason whomping the shit out of each other, and I got that. That was enough for me. I was pissed that Kane Hodder wasn't in it. I thought it was a bullshit reason that, they got a director. They got a director in there who didn't understand either character very well. And I think it would have been great to have had Kane in there. Nothing against Ken Kersinger. I don't really have anything against him at all. But the way he was utilized in the movie, Jason just wasn't that physically interesting. He just didn't. I agree. He was just kind of a little bit more of a he was more of a lumbering Frankenstein kind of guy.
Yeah, like he didn't have the same mannerisms as like a Hodder did.
No,
like,
the director clearly wanted much more of a lumbering brute kind of guy. And that's fine, but it just didn't, I don't know. It just didn't quite do it for me. But
I think especially when you have Robert on the other end, that's so
right. I mean,
charismatic.
that's And that would have been a problem regardless, because Freddy's such a vibrant, interesting, over-the-top character. He's so expressive, and you have Jason. But I think Kane would have been able to bring, again, but certainly by that point, because he played the character so many times, he would have brought much more of a physicality to the part.
I agree.
And I think that would have been, and he really wanted to do it. He would have had a vested interest. And again, I'm not knocking Ken Kirzinger, and I also don't know how much of how he played it was dictated by what the director wanted. So,
I mean, don't you think too? Like they made Freddy clearly like the cool guy, and they made Jason just like the big dumb oaf that like.
Well, they
there's
made
no
Jason
way...
like his puppet. They made him like his pawn, and it's just like that wasn't the most interesting treatment of the character for me. And it was, look again, inherently Freddy versus Jason, that was going to be a tough needle to thread anyway. Because how do you really realistically combine these two? And there actually are some good ideas in the movie. But it just, for the most part, I'm sitting there kind of waiting. It's like, all right, when are these two going to kick the shit out of each other? Oh, there they go. And once they did, the movie came to life for me. So that's a chief example of if you're going to have an uneven movie, end it well. End it with your best stuff. So at least you walk out of the theater going, man, they kicked the shit out of each other. And then only later on you go, yeah, but the first hour wasn't that hot. So.
Well, I remember when we saw that, like it was standing room. There were people standing in the aisle.
Oh, it was packed house when I saw it. It had a huge opening weekend.
People were like cheering and going nuts.
Oh, yeah. A great crowd I saw. People were going nuts for that shit. But especially when Jason finally shows up in the real world and Freddy turns and he's actually afraid. The people were like, oh, fuck yeah. It was like a wrestling match. People were like, yeah.
Whoopie days.
Yeah.
Ball driver.
The movie delivered. From that point on, it absolutely delivered. And that was...
it was definitely one of those movies, though, where the crowd seeing it in the theater with a bunch of people.
Much more of an experience, than watching
it. Made it way better than what it actually was.
When you go back and watch it, you're kind of like, they got that whole like subplot with that, what is it? Like Rohypnol or whatever the shit's called.
It's like,
it makes you go to sleep or whatever that is.
Yeah, and like the backstory with Monica Kena's character. It's just like, yeah. I came here to see these two guys wail it on, But at the end of the day, it gave me that. That was all I really wanted. And
it has one of the worst performances of any of either one of those movies too, with Kelly Rowland. Like that's one of the worst.
I didn't think she was that bad.
Oh my God, like when she's like, I can't even say what she says.
That moment's terrible. That's a fucking awful moment for a lot of reasons.
I'm surprised that she said that, considering like how much more famous she was then than like now nobody.
It was a tone deaf moment to say the least. But yeah, it was. But then again, she gets killed right after that, so it's like, well, I guess she got her comeuppance for saying that. But that's one of those moments. Even back then, this is 2003. But 2003, you're still kind of like, that wasn't really.
It's just the way it's done. Yeah. It's such a horrible delivery.
And there was no reason for that at all. Like, why go there with that? It was just like, seemed like, that was tasteless. But anyway, so yeah, that would be my third least favorite, I guess, would be Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah, no argument there. I think that was my least favorite. So, continuing on though, what are we at? Number 9?
Yeah, this one's probably gonna get some people to hang up on me.
Oh fuck.
The original.
Ooh. Oh, he's one of those.
Oh,
I'm not a fan of the original movie. I don't think it's that great a film.
You knocked the breath out of me, Felsher. What the hell,
I mean,
man?
It's certainly effective for what it does. It's certainly got some good scares, and I certainly understand why it made the impact it did when it came out. I'm sure it's a great film to see in the theater, but it's one of those movies where it's like, quite frankly, you're stuck with a bunch of characters that you just have absolutely no interest in whatsoever. The only thing that really livens that movie up is Tom Savini's kills, and they are fantastic. And I do enjoy Betsy Palmer's performance at the end, but in retrospect, certainly after seeing a lot of the more interesting entries in the series, it just doesn't. And I didn't see that one first. I saw several of the other entries before I saw the original. And then by the time I got to the original, I was just like, well, this isn't really.
Keep in mind, folks, now if you're just tuning in, he is not. We don't have Jason X or Jason Goes to Hell on here yet.
No.
So he's picking.
And just realize that.
Yeah.
But look, I'll say this, and I've said this, since we've been doing these rankings. Up until the point where Betsy Palmer comes into that movie, for me, it is exactly what you're saying. It's a very subpar slasher film. It's not even as good.
I wouldn't
as
even
like,
say subpar. I would say it's very routine. There's really
yeah,
not
it's
much
just very generic or something like.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and people, I know a lot of people love it, but really, when, like you were saying, when you're with those characters, like, there's not really any good characters in that movie. Like, they don't really do anything, and they don't really.
It's just, I mean, I remember Adrian King, but that's about it. I mean, there's other people that are okay. I mean, again, I would never say it's a bad movie, but it's one that just, maybe it was because of when I saw it. If I had seen it in 1980, it might have had more of an impact on me. But by the time I saw it, it was like I had already seen, and this isn't the movie's fault, but I had already seen 80 other films that ripped it off, plus 4 or 5 entries in the series that came after that I think did better jobs than that. And also this one, not that movie's fault, didn't have Jason in it, aside from the little thing at the end. And I like the big fucker in the hockey mask, I mean, there's just, I enjoy that, and this movie didn't have that. That's not that movie's fault. I can't hold it against that.
Well, see, when I was like a kid, that's why I didn't like the first 2 movies up until probably, I'm trying to pinpoint the time. I think it was like whenever the first DVDs came out that I really started warming up to the first 2 movies. But yeah, when I was a kid, man, I did not like the Friday the 13th without Hockey Mask Jason at all.
No, but and again, I can't really level that as a criticism against the first movie because they hadn't come up with that idea yet. And I'm not at this point really. I mean, with the exception of the Friday the 13th remake, I don't hate any of the other movies. I really don't. Friday 3, I'm not a fan of, and I don't enjoy watching, but I don't really have any active dislike for it, other than it's just not my favorite of the series. And the same goes for this one as well. The same with Freddy versus Jason. It's like there's stuff to enjoy in them, but I'm going mostly on which ones do I rewatch a lot, which ones do I go back and revisit more often than not. And the Friday original is just not on my list very often at all. So take that for what it's worth. And I know people are going to, burn me in effigy as a result of this, but that's just the way it goes.
No, I mean, I kind of agree. I think that Betsy Palmer saves it for me, but I agree that, like, up until that point, it's pretty bad. Really.
Well, I just, like, Suspirian Night just asked me, Friday the 13th original or The Burning, which is better? The Burning, by quite a bit.
Oh,
I think I like the characters in that movie a lot more than anybody in the first Friday the 13th.
I fucking can't stand The Burning. I think that movie's overrated as fuck.
Well, why don't you come over here and take a shit on me then?
Get on it.
I'll wait.
Like Blazer.
All right. So that's how I feel about that.
Something else, though, like, since we...
Brody Stevens just left.
I gotta go, guys. See you later.
Fuck this shit.
He has disparaged the original Friday the 13th. I shall not sit here and take this any longer.
Oh, he's out.
Fuck you, Slippy.
Bro,
I will be at your house shortly to
Peace
take a
out,
shit on
boss.
you.
He's going to go watch Friday the 13th Part 1. Wash the taste out of his mouth. Getting to the Friday the 13th 4Ks, though. So there's 4Ks of the first and the second one.
Yeah.
When the inevitable third movie comes out in 4K, there's really not even a point for that one to be out in 4K, right? Because the Blu-ray kind of looked like shit itself.
Well, it's the 3D. I mean, that's
Right.
the problem.
It's
just like, how do you... Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. And it's funny. Almost all the 3D films from that period look exactly the same way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They all have that weird, fuzzy, kind of out of focus look, and I think it's just a symptom of the way they shot it. I mean, they didn't shoot every single scene in 3D, but there was something about the way they had to treat it in post or something. Maybe I don't know. I'm not pretending to be an expert on how they had to.
Well, they did that Jaws 3, the AI. Like, you think they may try to do something like that with Friday the 13th 3 to fix the picture?
Imagine.
Jaws 3D has my single favorite worst effect in cinema history. When the shark hits the glass and they just stopped moving the shark.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the best thing. And it just stops. It's like, that's not how shit works. the shark would still move, motherfuckers. It doesn't just stop. It was like the animator went, do, 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 launch. It can stop there. And just walked away. It's the dumbest goddamn thing I've ever seen. And that's
Almost
saying
3D.
a lot because Jaws the Revenge is next.
All those 3D movies came out like what? Within like a span of like 2 years?
Between
or something
80, late 81, 82 to like 84. And then that was it. They just stopped. Because none of them did. I mean, I think Friday the 13th Part 3 probably did the best out of all of them. But Amityville 3D, Space Hunter, Coming at Ya. There was a whole slew of them there. And then everyone suddenly went, oh, this sucks.
Silent Madness, yeah.
And it didn't help that none of those movies were any good. There wasn't a single one of those 3D movies that made people go, oh, yeah, more of that shit. You know, it was just like, there was about a dozen of them that they did. Was Metal Storm one of them? Was that another 3D one? I can't remember.
I don't remember either.
I remember Space Hunter was, but
Did they ever try to make like a big budget 3D movie? Like all those are kind of like
not back then. I mean, obviously with Avatar and shit like that, yeah, they did for a while, and even that petered out after a while.
Well, that technology, that 3D from that time period, is very similar to what the technology is for like some of the more recent movies, isn't it?
Well,
Like
the
a
more
Shudder.
recent films, the 3D seemed to be much more of an immersive effect. It was like you got distance and depth, and it was less about throwing shit in your face and more about when you would come upon a big landscape, suddenly you would feel how distant things were and how, it was much more of an immersive environment. Back then it was really, again, just like, would you like some coffee? That's how it was in the 50s and the 60s.
Yeah.
That hadn't. And, I think people at that point were just like, it's a cute gimmick, but the movies all suck. So
For sure, people will buy Part 3 in 4K, though. There's no doubt
of course
about
they
that.
will. I will.
Yeah.
I will.
So continuing on here, what are we at? Number 8?
Yeah.
Oh, we got up Super Chat real quick here. Can't flash back. For Mike, apologies for the off-topic question, but was Prom Night 3 and 4 shot in widescreen? If so, did those materials survive? I've been dying to know for years.
I think they're just standard Academy.
It was straight
flat.
to video, wasn't it?
Yeah. Both of them. I don't know if they were intended for theatrical. I don't think they're 235. I don't think they're widescreen. I think they're just like standard Academy 185.
Did you get any news on the alternate cut of Part 2? Is that for sure going to be included?
We're still working on that. Yeah, I don't know, but we're still working on that. We have a lead that we've been following up. We just haven't heard back. So, but next on the list, after the Friday, my next one on the list is Friday the 13th Part 2.
fuck me.
Which actually, depending on my mood, will sometimes be higher than this. But I'm not. This is one where, again, I wish that they could restore all the bits. That if you saw all the stuff that was cut out, I think it would make it a much more interesting film to me.
God damn. Yeah. I'm not supporting anything red shirt anymore.
Okay.
That's fucking rough.
You know what?
Somebody asked earlier, were you in Jason X?
No, I wasn't.
He was
Again, it's
David
just
Cronenberg's
these are just my
bodyguard.
opinions. Fucking get over it.
Yeah, how is Jason X still hanging around?
I love the
me.
fact that people get so fucking mad about these movies. It's great.
I know. It's just like, it's not like my word is going to dictate how these things are viewed from now on. No one's going to give a shit. I mean, at
What's
the
going
end
to
of
happen
the
is when
day,
you type in an AI Friday 13th ranking, it's just going to be Slippy's ranking.
well, I'm sorry, Scratch Burno, that you're not going to support anything. In fact, do me a favor. Send me back everything that you ever bought that I worked on, and then I'll just send you back an I'm sorry note. Because I wouldn't want you to own anything of mine because this is apparently too upsetting for you. So
Before you do, though, shit on it.
Oh, did I remember? Oh, wait. As a matter of fact, yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot to put one on this list. So no, Friday 2 is not the next one on the list.
Uh-oh.
Oh, all right.
Sorry. I thought I was missing something, but I didn't.
He forgot about Jason X.
No, that's still coming up.
Damn
it. No, the next one on the list would be Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh, you're going to fucking sick is going to kill your ass.
I don't care. That movie was a huge disappointment to me when I saw it the first time because it's again, all right, Jason's going to Manhattan. All right,
It's bait and
boy,
switch.
he's been on this boat for a while. This isn't a very interesting boat either. It's just, well, I'm sure he'll get to Manhattan eventually. 1 hour in. Goddamn. Are they just rowing in circles? What the fuck are they doing out there? And then they get there. It's all right. They're in Manhattan. They finally. Boy, there's a lot of alleyways. Okay. Well, that's. Oh, the boxing thing was cute. I like that. All right, Times Square. Finally, we're in Manhattan. Wow, that was quick. Okay. Oh, we're in the sewers now. Okay, yeah, that's cool.
That was killer.
Yeah, that was cool. I didn't know that that's what they did in New York, flushing toxic waste out of the sewers every night.
They did. Yeah, I was
And-
going
They still do. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Oh,
They still
Jason's
do
mask
it.
is off. All right, here goes. Jason's mask. Oh, he looks like melted candle wax head. That's nice. Okay, well, that's fine.
Like Kane or something.
Oh, all right. He's washed
there
up
you
in the
go.
sun. What's going to happen? He's going to pop out of that toxic waste. Oh, he's a kid. Sure, sure. Okay. Oh, movie is over. Fuck this. I'm out. You know, it was one of those films where it's like, I get they didn't have the money to go film the whole fucking thing in New York City. I get that. And I'm not even saying they should have done everything there. But you got to get there a little bit quicker. And also the fact they cut the violence again out of every kill rendered the movie kind of mute. Aside from like the boxing kill, which is the best one. And I loved the moments Jason has in Times Square. They're very, very funny. But it's like, God, this really felt like false advertising. And I don't give a shit about her writing career in Stephen King's pen and whatever the fuck. I mean, it was just like...
They did
okay.
throw some random shit in there that was like,
Yeah, and it was just, I don't give a fuck about any of this. And again, but the saving grace for that movie is, once again, Kane Hodder's performance as Jason.
I thought the look of Jason was really cool. though.
The
When he had the
overall
mask
look-
on.
Yeah, when the mask is on, he's fucking fantastic. I love the slick down look, the mask, everything about what he does. Kane Hodder is fantastic, and the stunts are great. I mean, again, the good stuff is good, but it's just like, you know, Jason Takes Manhattan. Fuck that. The Muppets took it better.
Space
I
was way
just
better.
think-
You're right.
Yeah, I just think this is killer comment. Space was way better. You're right.
Space was more fun for me, but I'll get into that later. Wow, people take this shit personally.
Oh my god, that's what makes it fun.
I don't
You know,
think-
for me though, part 8, like it or hate it or whatever, that was the last one that really felt like a Friday the 13th.
Well, it's the
movie to
last
me.
of the
Yeah.
Paramount. And what I did like about it, and what I like about so many of the other, is that the continuity stayed so consistent. That one would pick up right where the other one left off, or like part 8, it's like he's still underwater, you know, and they worked the continuity in. From I'm a big continuity geek. I love that.
What?
You know,
Alligator leg.
What?
I don't even understand what that means, but.
What the hell is going on?
You know, I gotta say, you know, there's a big portion of your audience that seem to be a bunch of reactionary assholes.
Imagine saying, "What's up, alligator leg?"
I
I don't think anybody's gonna say that to him.
No.
His
Like-
face.
don't like.
be
It's
killer
hard not to
shit.
take it personally when your list is shit, dude. Okay, so my list is. Oh yeah, I knew that someone was gonna bring this shit up. Camp
What?
Flashback says, "Where does Beverly Hills Cop 2 rank?"
Uh-oh.
Man, the shit I got for not liking Beverly Hills Cop 2. It's like, out of all the fucking movies for people to just, like, draw a line in the sand, Beverly Hills Cop 2? Really? Okay.
What about this? Out of nowhere.
What's
Jason invades.
Jason invades the Ukraine. That'd be killer.
Well, that'd be more interesting
Yeah.
than fucking Friday the 13th Part 3.
It'll be better than that TV show they're working on, I'm sure.
I would enjoy that a hell of a lot more.
What the fuck is going on? This is killer.
How are they going to do that TV show, man? Like, what's your prediction on that?
Oh, the new Jason universe that's coming up?
Yeah, Crystal Lake show and the Jason universe.
I don't. I'll judge it when I see it. I'm not dreading it, nor am I looking forward to it. JJ, this list is about as bad as my last blood work results. Well, that's kind of insulting you, isn't it?
Oh,
That's like saying doesn't sound very good for you. I'd rather have a bad list than bad blood work results.
Yeah.
I don't think that's kind of
That list versus
that doesn't really hurt me, dude. That's just like your list sucks worse than my health. I was like,
Well, here's a pod as a response from Samelson. Your list
There you go.
ranks. The list is ranking up with his.
okay.
So he must really
That's
like
nice.
Jason
Thank you.
X as well.
I appreciate the support amongst the horrible overreactions from all these very, very sensitive people that are in this chat tonight.
It's like
Jesus
250 people. Just
250 people
250
shitting on you
people, yeah.
at one
Shit.
time.
Even if you think his list
I
is
ain't buying
shit,
nothing with your name on it again because you put
Shit on it.
you put Friday 3 near the bottom, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
Whatever.
even though Slippy's list is shit, according to you guys, you can still thumbs up the video and like it and comment it.
I'm not getting a thumbs up ever again, I don't think, at this point.
Who knew this would destroy your
It's
entire
just my
reputation
list.
in
That's
one
all
show?
it is.
It's an interesting list. I would have
And at
definitely
the end
not
of the day,
predicted
my list
some
is
of
no
this.
more important than anybody else's.
What about
by
this
the end
though?
of this show, he's gonna be like, I ain't wrecking shit on here
The
anymore.
darkest side of the night opening credits. Now that is badass.
My taste is stank.
Your taste is stank.
Oh, I like that. I'm going to say, hey, everybody. My name is Michael Felsher, and my taste is stank. This hits me harder than my drunk stepdad when I was 5. Again, that doesn't really hurt me that much.
Oh my god.
But I gotta be honest with you. Based on you making a comment like that, I think your stepdad was right.
Your stepdad should have hit you a little bit harder.
If anything, he didn't hit you hard enough.
Just perfect.
That backhand should have had some more force
Should have
behind that.
backed you over with the car, as far as I'm concerned. I
Holy
think-
shit. Oh my god. We haven't even got halfway through this shit. It's
No, and
Chance
we
on
got a
X
couple that are
Games
coming
mode.
up that I know are going to piss everybody off. So it's. Yes, I like Fred. Do I even like Fred? Oh
my
you
God.
burned. Oh yeah, Camp Flashback just burned his desserts blue. Again, that doesn't hurt me. You already bought it. I already got your money. So congratulations. You sure showed me.
You got the sequel coming out soon too.
Yeah, then
So
please buy that and burn it. I don't.
Yeah.
It's just like whatever. Oh God.
all right, what are we on now?
I have
7?
no fucking idea anymore. Oh, it was.
Wait, is Just Desserts 2 going to be a feature on that new Part 2 thing, or is it going to be its own thing?
It's going to be its own full-length documentary next year on the Making of Creepshow 2.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I've
he
been
ain't
working
fooling
on it
with.
for a while.
He's seen what them assholes at Scream Factory did with some of his stuff in the
Well,
past.
no, I
and just
think
reuse
Arrow's
it.
doing Creepshow 2 again, I think.
They are. And they're reusing some of the features I did for a couple of the other previous editions.
But you don't get paid when they reuse that shit, right?
No. It,
So
but
fuck
it was a
them.
work for hire. It's not like they owe me the money or anything. Although I wouldn't mind some copies of the stuff that they reuse, but they never send me anything.
What do you
Are
think
you
about
working
the?
on the Jason Goes to Hell doc? Is that you? That Jason Goes to Hell documentary? Are you part of that at all?
He's the
Well,
director.
I'm the director of it.
No, but I'm sorry. I meant to say, is that who's gonna? Are you putting it out under your label on physical media, or is anybody else? You know?
You want a scoop?
Yeah, man.
We signed the deal yesterday. It will be a Red Shirt home video release.
Oh baby,
There you go.
that's an exclusive.
That's one scoop.
And that's the only scoop.
Oh, come on, boys! It's in your theme song.
He's
Other
gonna
one.
show us the artwork
Heard
for
her
Freddy
here
too.
out of forecast summer camp nightmare.
Hey, honestly, if I could get the rights to that, I would totally do
Dude,
that.
I'm sure
I
he's.
love
I'm sure
that
he's
movie.
looked into it.
I really
think
like
a lot
that
of
movie,
people
but
have.
it's
It's Canadian or something, right?
no, it's a long story with that, but it's yeah, it's a long story. But I would do that movie in a heartbeat. That's critically underrated, that movie.
Agree.
And
Speaking
I don't know,
of-
and calling it Summer Camp Nightmare was a big mistake. Because it makes it sound like a Friday the 13th movie, and that is not what that movie is at all. And I would love to see. The Butterfly Revolution was a better title, although that still doesn't really you know. But anyway, I would love to do summer camp.
It's the Butterfly Revolution, baby. It's a tag
Make it happen.
team. Dusty Rose and Magnum TA, baby.
All right. So anyway,
All right. Well, I'm glad you gave us the scoop because that kind of put us at like a little bit of a halftime, and the chat kind of
Yeah, well, we actually
now
do
we
have,
can kind of move on with it. Yeah.
Can't wait for this next one. Bring it right back.
We do have a trailer for the doc that we can play at some point. I got it ready, but
well, let's save that for the end. So maybe we leave people on a good note because it seems like I'm going to go to hell after this. So
Felsher goes to hell.
yeah, pretty much.
So-
the next one
Yeah.
one was Friday the 13th Part 2. But before I remembered that I forgot one, left one off because it seemed like we got there too fast. I don't hate Friday. I like Friday 2. Actually, all the films going forward, I like in one form or another. So it and I don't. But Friday 2 for me, the second half of that movie is really good, but the first half just feels like it takes forever to get going. I just have never been, and I really wish that they had been able to reintegrate the cut footage from it, because when I saw what was cut from, I was like, oh, this one made a big difference. It was like, this is really violent stuff, and it would have helped. It really would have helped. But I don't hate Sackhead Jason. I like Sackhead Jason. I got no problems with him at all. But it just, and I didn't like, and I still do not like them killing off Adrienne King in the beginning.
I never understood that either. Like,
yeah.
why-
How in the hell did Jason get to the damn city, too?
Yeah, and also it's just off-putting. It's like we're with her through that whole first movie, and she was a very likable character. And then she just gets ice picking her fucking head, and
Well, there's just a huge logic problem with that. How the hell he found her, and like that, because it was supposed to be what, 2 months later, I think, something like that. After that took place, and then he just like walks around.
Yeah.
Now, was
finds
there
her
a reason
house.
she didn't continue on? Did they like? She say, "I'm not doing it." So they're like, "Oh, we're just gonna kill you off." I don't.
I think she had a stalk. Was that the time that she had the stalker, like right after that movie came
it
out
was
or something?
I don't remember exactly. I think it was around that time. But the other big positive for that movie is Amy Steele.
Yeah,
She's a fantastic final girl, and I really.
I liked Kirsten Baker that was in that movie too. I had to look her up.
Yeah, no, the cast in that movie was fine. I didn't really have. I mean, it's,
I take
again,
my
that
fling
one-
shot to a two, baby.
That one might rank higher at times with me. It just depends. But it's, again, I don't go back to it that often. But I don't.
That's weird because I go back to that one a lot for some reason.
Yeah, I haven't. So again, that's one. If I were to watch it again tomorrow, it might rank a little higher. I don't know.
Something that I would love
Pushing
to,
Asian.
if we ever had a chance to interview Steve Miner, what the hell happened to Stu Charno's character in that? Like, that was one of the very few characters
Yeah.
that he just goes away. You
Yeah,
don't
he
see
just
any-
does. It's like, was there a sequence film with him that didn't work out or something? Yeah, I don't know. No, John Fury's good. I mean, again, the characters in part 2 were much more interesting to me than the ones in the first film.
Lauren Marie Taylor, I love. She's like one of the nicest people.
And the wheelchair kill is fantastic, and just all that. But again,
Yeah, that's
I
so
don't know.
mean spirited.
That movie
I had
just
to
takes a
love it.
little too long to get going for me. But it does have the advantage of having a really kick-ass back half. So it's like, okay, by the time we get to,
I think like the first two movies have like a similar atmosphere to them.
they
Too.
do. They
go together pretty good.
A lot of the same people worked on those same. It was just like. But I think 2 is a more accomplished film than the first one is.
I got to know then. What do you think about the ending?
It's okay. It's the thing where she's talking
Yeah,
to it's a little goofy, but it's okay. That's just not my favorite ending of the films.
But Jason, they kind of give you the idea that Jason's just this big dummy, though. So
Yeah, I don't know.
he would
But I
believe
like.
it. Maybe.
I've grown to really love the Sackhead look. I really have. That's something that I enjoy. But yeah, I don't know. 2 is I like it, but it's not one that I think about revisiting a lot.
Okay. So what are we on? 6 now? Is it 6? We're about halfway through? Or
Yeah,
is it 5?
and I'm going to tell you, I really enjoy Jason X a lot.
so Jason X is 6.
Well,
I mean,
at least
look-
it's not number 1 or something
No,
like
no,
that.
Yeah,
I
not
don't-
number 1. But honestly, Jason X, it's inherently ridiculous to sending him to space, but the movie knows how ridiculous it is. The movie's well aware of how silly this whole fucking thing is. It plays that aspect really well. I really did enjoy the performances, and I love Uber Jason. Again, Kane Hodder's really great. I love some of the best kills in the entire series are in that movie, and I just love the attitude. I thought Todd Farmer's script had some really interesting ideas and some really great dialogue. I like it when the big sergeant guy gets us like, it's gonna take more than that poke in the ribs to take down this old dog. Yep, that ought to do it. I really enjoyed that, and I like some of the self-aware I mean, again, that movie was what I wanted out of that. I just wanted a goofy, good time. And I love the virtual reality, Camp Crystal Lake sequence. It was like, let's have premarital unprotected sex. And then when he's banging her against his, ow, ow, ow. I really enjoyed that. It was just, and then David Cronenberg at the beginning. How can you hate any movie that has Jason Voorhees killing David Cronenberg? I mean, my God. Again, I wanted a big, goofy, good time that didn't take itself too seriously, and that movie delivered in spades. And rewatching it again recently for the Blu-ray, working on the 4K, I was just like, yeah, this movie holds up. I mean, the visual effects aren't very good, but it kind of fits. It's like, I don't know. I can understand how you wouldn't a person doesn't like that movie. That's fine if it's not your cup of tea. But the hate that it's engendered kind of surprises me. I don't understand. It's like, what did the movie? Was it just that people don't like New Line, or they just wanted something? I mean, I don't know. It's a matter of personal taste. But I had a great time with Jason X. So
What? What is it?
The guy's comments.
Let me tell you this though, like, Jason X for me is the hardest movie to get all the way through in the whole series, maybe. Like, I've tried numerous times and I want to like it, and there's certain parts of it that I do like, but yeah, I'm just not a fan of like sci-fi original movies, and to me that's
The
I just
biggest
get that
problem
feeling.
I have with Jason X is the way it looks. It looks
Cheap.
like a sci-fi original movie.
It is cheap though. It was a low budget movie.
It was an incredibly ambitious film for the limited money that they gave it. And it was early era digital effects. It was one of the first films to be finished digitally.
Man, it looks rough in 4K too.
And there are, I agree. There are times where it does look a little cheap, and it does have, but I thought the production design was actually quite good for that. I mean, considering what they spent on it, there's a lot of sequences in that movie I think look really good. But yeah, there are points where it's like, ooh, a little bit more money and a little bit more time would have been good. But that movie was plagued with a lot of problems, and it was not given the love in post-production that I think it deserved. That could have fixed a lot of the issues.
It was interesting release too, because wasn't it released like overseas first?
Well, it leaked out. It was it got horribly bootlegged for like a year before it came out. And it got tied up a little bit because they were thinking that they were going to actually make Freddy versus Jason before this, and then release Jason X afterwards. And then that got bogged down, so they didn't know what to do with Jason X for a while. And I think that was another reason that people were just kind of inclined to not like it, because it had the stink of death around it by the time it finally came out. The people, this thing's been sitting on the shelf for a while. Something must be wrong with it. And it's like, okay. But again, if you don't like it, fine. But I guess I'm confused by the level of hatred that it gets. That and Jason Goes to Hell both get an enormous amount of hate that just seems a little bit over the top to me. But hey, again, if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. I don't have a financial interest in these movies, so what do I care really at the end of the day?
Arrow Video said you better rank these high, pal, before you came onto the show.
Yeah, it's part of your
agreement.
Agreement.
Oh, yeah, that's how that works.
Look.
That's how that works. Yeah, first of all, that they would give a shit what my ranking is on your show.
Well,
That'd be so cute if they're watching this.
Like,
to be fair, he did rank the remake as the
marketing
is the
research
worst.
has determined that tens and tens of people watch DEADPIT.com. And we need you we're going to pay you $5,000 to make sure that certain movies rank a little higher. And I'm like, damn right, I can be bought. Give me your money. How high do you want them?
That's true. That's definitely true.
Give me a break.
I would love it though if somebody from Arrow was watching this, just like shit.
Damn it.
You get a phone call. You're like, do you realize that the Friday the 13th remake has got no sales since that ranking?
I'm sure that
How could you do this to us?
there's no issues with him selling copies of those movies. at
No,
all.
no.
I don't give a shit. See, look, when it comes to like, unless it's something I'm releasing on my own label, when I turn in special features, I don't think about it again after that. I'm not getting paid to, say that I like the movies I work on. I'll treat everything with the same professionalism as everything else, but I've worked on dozens of movies I don't like at all. But at the end of the day, it's just like,
Can you name like
I knew he's gonna do
I
that.
knew this was fucking coming.
the worst movie in your opinion that you ever did special features
I
on?
don't necessarily want to say that.
Tell us that.
Why? It don't matter. You've already been paid.
Well, no, I know that, but I mean, I work with. I mean, it's funny. You work with people, and sometimes you work with the greatest people for the shittiest movies.
Is it Texas Chainsaw Massacre 03?
That would be in the bottom 5, probably.
Yep.
Are
I
you
don't know.
surprised at how many?
I'd have to look back over the list. There's several that I don't like very much.
Are you surprised of how many people put over Chainsaw 03? Because I am.
I
mean,
like Chainsaw 2003.
I'm not that big a fan. I don't hate it by any stretch.
I hate it.
Yeah, but and there's
He
some,
really wants
there's
you
some
to know.
groaner dialogue in that one too. That's just like, do your thing, cuz. Give me a fucking break.
That's not that one.
No, that's the other one, right?
That's Leatherface.
I'm thinking
Chainsaw 3D.
Oh no, 03. I have
doesn't
severe
like the kid with the
I don't
teeth.
care
He's
about
got a
any of the
problem.
characters in that movie, and I
There's
hate
like
the
50 of them. So
I hate the photography and the production design. I think the production
Smear
design is
doo-doo.
terrible. It's like all these, it feels like a production designer's wet dream of what a haunted house looks like. All right, let's have rain in the basement and dripping on bottles of eyeballs. It's like,
It's
come
grimy and
Yeah.
brutal.
on. Oh, this is so brutal.
which one is
Yeah,
it where they bring in like the tea lady and all that shit? Is
It's
the
that
prequel
one,
or
yeah.
is that
Yeah,
the-
I
is
did.
that-
Yeah,
And
the
then
little
I think
boy
the
with
tea
the-
lady is in
with, like,
the
teeth.
prequel too, right?
Dude,
Yeah.
that's
They're all the same. Yeah.
I did not like, for example, there's that opening shot when the hitchhiker blows her brains out, and the camera comes out through the car, through the back of her head, and out of the car. I know a lot of people jizz all over that fucking shot. For me, it's like, first of all, it's incredibly disrespectful to this poor character who just blew her goddamn brains out to treat her like a special effect. Number one, and the other thing is, it requires every actor in that scene to sit there and go,
There's a hole in her head.
when in reality, they would be out of that car in half a fucking second. They're not going to sit there and pose in the hole doing this shit. It was just, I just thought that was really like, oh, and it's such a show-offy, hey, look at the funny, cool shot we did through her head. I just...
Oh no! Tomorrow's gonna be a hard day for you, man. Arrow Video's gonna be like, we had 55 canceled pre-orders, pal.
Fuck them, I'm not getting a percentage.
Also,
He'll
though,
never work in this
here-
town again.
Here's the thing about that remake that always kind of pissed me off too. Everybody always talks about Arlie Ermy in that remake like he's killer. I always thought he sucked in that movie. Like I
He's
just thought he was
fine.
like just incredibly.
He's fine. He's actually more interesting in the prequel. The whole family's a lot more interesting in the prequel. I actually like the prequel.
The prequel is the better of the two.
Oh,
I
it's
think.
definitely up until the last 5 minutes, which are a disaster unlike anything.
Jimmy,
I've
little
ever-
Jimmy,
It's like, how the heck? You're canceling your shit right now?
canceling it. Fuck it.
I will live somehow. So. But no, I was like, how did Leatherface fit in the back of that car for one thing? How did she not see Leatherface? How did Leatherface somehow rev the saw and somehow maneuver it to be able to go through that front seat? The thing is like 6 feet long. How the fuck did he do that? It was so stupid that it ruined the whole fucking movie for me. It's just like, come on.
I tell you what's dumber though is at the end of that fucking Netflix when he pulls her out like car and chainsaws her head off.
Yeah.
You remember that shit?
I actually
Like
enjoyed
that
that,
up in
the
the fucking
Netflix one for
stealth
what it was. I actually thought
Oh.
it did more right than wrong, but we're talking. We're off on
He traveling like 10 miles an hour down that fucking road for him to be able to.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
Yeah,
that's
Friday the 13th Part 5 is like 10 times better than Texas Chainsaw 03, in my opinion. Somebody was mentioning me liking, hey, I love Friday the 13th Part 5 compared to, that piece
Anyway,
of
where
shit.
were we? So we were talking about Jason. So I said Jason X.
Jason
okay.
X, yeah.
Right.
So what number are we on? 5?
This will be number this will be the 5th one. Yeah.
Okay.
And this one would not have probably been 5th on my list, but I've watched it a lot in the past year, and actually my appreciation for it has gone up quite a bit, and it is Jason Goes to Hell, which I know is a lot of people's least favorite. I just did a whole goddamn documentary about how a lot of people can't stand this fucking movie, and I get it. And I didn't like it at all either when I first saw it. When I went to the theater, I walked out going, "What the fuck was that?" It's like, when did Jason become a body hopper? And why, where has he been? Why isn't there any connection to the other films? There was no continuity whatsoever. And it's like, what was with the shaving? What was with all this shit? I just walked out very confused. But when I went back to watch it again later and I'd left all my expectations and all that shit behind, I was like, well, you know what this is? This is just another storyteller doing his own riff on Jason Voorhees. And if you just accept it as its own thing and not try to fit it in necessarily to the other films, it's actually really well made. It's got some terrific actors in it. It's really creative. The kills are fantastic, especially the tent kill. That was another thing. In the theater, most of that shit's gone. And that was the first Friday the 13th movie that had an official unrated version available on home video. So I rented that and went like, holy shit, look at all the stuff that's back in this. And, I think it's really well shot. I think it's got a lot of really interesting ideas. And again, if you just view it as its own riff on the Jason Voorhees legend, I think there's a lot to recommend it. I really do. And I have come to really appreciate it more. And, and I'm not just saying that because I did a documentary about it. You'll notice it's not number 1 on my list all of a sudden. So I guess...
what's his name? Clayton Duke or something like that.
Oh, Creighton Duke, yeah.
Yeah. If that was Tommy Jarvis, I would be fine.
Well, originally it was going to be.
Really?
He wanted to use Tommy Jarvis, but his character didn't come over in the rights deal with New Line. He wasn't allowed to use Tommy Jarvis.
See, that would have made way more sense because,
that was the original intention. But I like Creighton Duke anyway because Stephen Williams has so much fun with the character. So it's just like, and I would have liked to have seen that character come back somehow. Bring him back. I mean, I know he supposedly died at the end, but no one dies in these fucking movies. So it's just like, bring him back, have him show up in other films. I would have liked the character, the Agent Marcus, the woman from the beginning of the film. Have her, Julie Michaels, have her character come back.
Oh, man. Yeah, bring her back.
That's the thing. What I did love being in the theater when that opening sequence happened, because that's like the prototypical Friday the 13th sequence. A girl alone in a cabin, Jason Voorhees chases her through the woods, and then all of a sudden there's a SWAT team, and Jason blows up before the beginning of the credits. And I remember people in the theater going, the fuck?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest problem with that movie is that it was just too different than what
Especially
people expected at the time.
The end, too, which is like all those fucking beams and shit are coming.
Oh, yeah, it's really, yeah. I mean, again, this is such a different experience.
How was it? Real quick.
I think it was a little better than that, but whatever.
No, that's a pretty good approximation.
Some comets and shit coming out of Jason Bulls.
But no, it was...
That hasn't aged that well either, really, but...
Yeah,
but I kind of like when it comes to the New Line movies, Jason Goes to Hell's for sure my favorite.
Same.
I saw it twice in a theater as a kid. I loved it then. I think it's okay. Some of the stuff that they just throw out there randomly is kind of... But, I mean, they had to do what they had to do. I guess they didn't have the rights to... Like you were saying,
there were some
for a lot of
limitations that he had also from the producer, Sean Cunningham, who didn't want certain things in it, and so there was a lot of things that he had to adjust accordingly. But again, that movie, watching it now, it's like, if you just go into it as, if Jason's a campfire story, And everyone has their own story that they've either heard or made up over the years. This is just another person telling their tale of Jason Voorhees. And if you look at it that way, which is I think the way you should look at it, you can have a good time with it. I mean, but again, if you don't like it, you don't like it. It is an out there film, and it goes in some very interesting and very out there directions. It's not going to, Adam in making the film he made, guaranteed that certain people were going to respond to it, and that certain people were just not going to be able to respond to it. That's just the way it works. Whenever you take chances like that, not everybody's going to be on board with it, and that's fine. That's the way it goes. So that's how I feel on Jason Goes to Hell, anyway.
Cool.
Great point
now
for the documentary for sure. But I agree. I like Jason Goes to Hell more now than I did when I first saw it. So I feel like I gained appreciation for it.
Well, the thing about the documentary is, it covers the making of Jason Goes to Hell, but it's not really about that as much as you might think. It's much more about Adam Marcus and him making his first movie. It's about a filmmaker making his first movie with a genre that he loves and a film series that he loves, and then all the pitfalls that come.
He was like a very young filmmaker, too.
He was very young. He was in his early 20s. I mean,
that's
he was
insane.
A kid, know, and so there were just a lot of things that happened as a result of that he wasn't ready for, and things that he was ready for. And you just really get to know him over the course of the documentary. So it's really about him, and we use Jason Goes to Hell to tell his story. And I think now would actually be a good time to show the trailer. Actually,
yeah. We'll do like a Q&A afterwards, too. Because this has been a long time in the making, right?
Several years, yeah. And the pandemic also kind of stepped in and kind of fucked things up for a while for everybody, but certainly for this as well.
Cool. So this is, the Hearts of Darkness, the making of the Final Friday. Jason Goes to Hell, boss.
Hey, camera marker.
Yay, we're making a movie, and it's a Friday 13th movie, and Jason Voorhees. This is freaking awesome.
Here we go.
Adam Marcus, get on out here.
I was 23 when I made this movie. Why the fuck would anyone let a 23-year-old direct a franchise movie, right?
He was a child. He was a baby. He was like damn good director, knew his business.
Adam had just this great energy about it.
It was a tight schedule and tight budget. We shot 1,000 setups in 30 days.
Blood everywhere.
Please!
How was that? It was fucking gorgeous. Okay.
My favorite kill in the movie is the split body.
Look, if you're gonna die, go big or go home. Dying while having an orgasm. I mean, as an actor, I was like, that's like a steak dinner.
That's some crazy shit. I knew we would get one shit in there.
Oh, you got blood all over you.
That makes me think of a little girl in a pink dress sticking a hot dog to a donut.
What does this line mean? What the hell am I saying?
To this day, I have no fucking clue.
And action!
It wasn't even a discussion. It was, Kane Hodder's going to do the movie. Well, yeah, he is Jason. The guy has kill tattooed on the inside of his lip.
There it is.
That's Kane.
People probably roll their eyes and stuff, but I honestly feel like I was born to play Jason. Now get out of the shot before I fucking kill you.
Action! When I saw the bust of me in the makeup trailer, I was a little weirded out.
I've got a black tongue going out of my mouth 6 feet.
Everybody's on set going, yeah, that's a penis, you know.
That's shocking.
The initial reaction was not great.
It was not loved.
It was the worst garbage in the world.
I was actually disappointed.
I've had 3 people wish me ass cancer. Wow, man, why is it always about my ass?
Whether the fans liked it or not, here we are, all these years later, still talking about it.
If you don't like it, you can go to hell.
This isn't the movie for nuance. You know?
Cut!
All right.
I'm excited for that. I'm really excited.
Great
for that.
trailer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm very proud of the documentary, and it was. it was something that I came into late in the process. It was because they had another director originally, and they parted ways. And Peter Brackey, who's a good friend of mine, he and a group of us would play Friday the 13th the game every night for like 5 years, and that's how I got to know Peter. And Adam was looking, and Peter was also involved in this. He wrote all the interviews and conducted all the interviews, and was a producer on the project. And he recommended me to Adam. And he asked me if I would, and initially I wasn't sure, because it's like, well, I self-generate all my own stuff, and I'm always there from the very beginning to the end. I wasn't sure about stepping into something that was, already on its way, but I thought, well, it might be interesting. And I looked at some of the interviews, and I came up with an idea on how to kind of shape the thing, and Adam responded to it, and I got along with Adam like a house on fire immediately. So it was just like, well.
It did screen at Texas Frightmare?
It did. It did 3 weeks ago, whenever
awesome.
Frightmare was. Yeah, and it did extremely. It went over really well. We were very, and it's also screened at Fright Fest in Glasgow. It had a big premiere there. They're doing a screening of it tonight in LA at the Gardenia Theater, and that'll be going on. Should be actually going on right about now, actually.
So, as far as the physical copies, I mean, originally it was like a fan-funded thing.
It was an indie. Yeah, they raised money through, I think, Indiegogo.
Are they getting copies first? I guess.
Yeah,
or?
Yeah, they will. They will be getting. We'll be giving an allotment out for that to get sent out before the street date. I don't know how long. It won't be like 6 months or anything like that, but they will definitely get their copies first.
Do you have an idea on street dates?
No specific street dates, but the documentary's done. The extras are all done. The packaging, we've already got the key art and everything done. So we're hoping to have it out around Halloween time. But that is not an official announcement. But
and yes, Nubbins, it'll be a red shirt release, which is cool.
Yes, it will. Yeah. But since it's all done. That means that there's really not. I mean, all the extras are done. It's gonna be like 2 hours worth of extras on there, and then the documentary, and then so there's not a whole lot really left to do for it. We just take the masters, get it. We can.
I gotta ask.
Where will it be distributed through? Like just any retailers, like
Diabolic? Yeah, it'll be on the Synapse site, and it'll be on
Synapse site too.
Yeah, okay. I imagine it'll be something that everyone will be able to get easily.
Honestly, though, like when you started doing this and started making some of these extra features, and then you started doing some expanded stuff like as bonus, did you ever see yourself doing a feature-length documentary on Jason Goes to Hell?
No, especially after like Crystal Lake Memories. And his name was Jason. All the others, it's like I felt like that was a territory. And then Scream Factory did its own Blu-ray of Jason Goes to Hell. So I felt like, well, what else? And when I first heard about the project, I was one of the first backers on the project, interestingly enough. But I part of me was just like, well, what's the story here? If it's just the making of Jason Goes to Hell, hasn't that story been kind of told? But when I watched the interviews that they shot, especially Adam's interview, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, this isn't really about the making of a Friday the 13th movie. We're using that to tell Adam Marcus's story. And that's what drives the documentary. That's what I was interested in more than anything else.
Love it.
We got a super chat from Camp Flashback. Who has the best Joey from Part 5 impression?
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing. You just forget it, okay? Just forget it. And I think you're really out of line.
That's
pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Here, Vic. Here. It's a candy bar. Sit it down here before you, Vic.
What the fuck?
A candy bar. I don't think he ever says that.
He says something about a candy bar. You got a bite of a candy bar.
I think it says something like, "I'll just leave this right here for you."
I'll just sit her here, Vic. Here.
Well, that's the way you're gonna be. Forget it, Vic. Just forget it. I think you really out of, and I think his last line is.
Here's my impression. I think I've got a good one. Here we go.
That wins.
There you go.
That's the winner right there. That's the best one. Come on, Roy, get your hands dirty. I think she's like, he's my son. Anyway, why are we talking about this now? All right. So that was Jason Goes to Hell. So there, I'll answer it.
That Jason Goes to Hell was what, number 5?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're on to 4.
So number 4 is number 4. It's the final chapter.
Okay.
Which is a very solid entry in the series.
That's what I got playing on the TV, Bulls.
Yeah, it's was one of the first ones I saw. Really great special effects. I enjoyed the characters. I think Joe Zito is a really underrated filmmaker. He knows how to keep a movie moving. You know, there's no... Friday 4 is an excellently paced film. It never wastes any time. There's a kill like every 8 or 9 minutes, and they're really good kills. The characters are fun. Crispin Glover's a blast, and you know, I really like Kimberly Beck a lot, and you know, Corey Feldman was fun. That movie is
Ted White is great.
Ted White is the best of the live action Jasons, of the living Jasons, because he was a stuntman and he knew how to really. I mean, not that some of the others weren't, but there was something about what Ted White did. He brought a ferociousness to that part. You know, just a real intensity that really worked very, very well. And the makeup on him is fantastic. Jason's death is worthy of all the build-up. You know, it really comes off great. It only ranks a little lower on my list because it's a really mean movie. I mean, it's just like, you know, people die really, I mean, there's just a little bit of an edge to it, which it's not as cozy as some of the other Friday the 13th films are for me. But I there's no knocking it at all. I really enjoy it a lot, and it was certainly the first of the Friday the 13th films that I thought didn't suffer from characters I didn't give a shit about or serious pacing issues. That one is a very well-made movie from top to bottom. I have really no criticism of Part 4 at all, except for the fact that it was called The Final Chapter, and less than 12 months later, there was a new beginning.
They like that money,
yeah,
though,
they've got to
man.
stop. They really need to stop using the word final in the titles for Friday the 13th movies. Because every time they do that, it's like, well, gee, I wonder if this will really be the last one. No. So
okay.
Yeah.
With Part 4 to it, I've always thought this. I'm curious what you think too, Felsher. Like 1, 2, 3, and 5 all look for some reason significantly like brighter and more kind of like, I don't know, more. There's a different tone to them, but 4 is very dark. It's very darkly lit and very kind of like just somber or something. There's something completely different about
no.
that.
It's a dark, mean movie, and it's very aggressive and just very. Again, it feels like, well, this came from the director of The Prowler, absolutely. You know, there's no mistaking. Zito brought a real solid exploitation vibe to this picture, and he just had, you know, he was a great choice for that. He brought a just kind of a ruthlessness to the series that it really hadn't had before. And again, it's the pacing. It's just like, it's a really relentless, nonstop film. There's no dips in the tension or the action in that movie, whereas all the ones previous to that did have problems in that department. So I think it was kind of a big step up. I would like to go back just for 1 second to one of the comments here. There's a guy named A Little Voice who said, you know what, Jason never used to kill a table. Tables are dangerous, deadly even. Wouldn't you say, Mr. Felsher? Well, that's an odd thing to bring up, because you see, I was at Living Dead Weekend this past weekend, and I was with a friend of mine at a restaurant, and we were going to sit down at have lunch, and as he's getting into the booth, it was not really a booth, it was a little table, and I'm sitting in the chair, and he's getting into the little bench on the other side of the table, and when he gets in, he put his foot on the table to push the table back, but the table rocketed out and slammed into my chest and knocked the wind out of me. And I'm like, why? And he, showing great concern, immediately starts laughing and basically just committed assault against me. And I'm not sure if I'm still weighing whether I'm going to press charges or not. But I mean, I don't know if this little voice has any idea if that's what he's referring to or not. I seem a little suspect about who this might be, but then again,
it's a Kevin Owens look-alike. I heard
it could just be a coincidence. But
he just gave it away.
I should have aimed higher. Fuck you, Gibbs. I know it's you, motherfucker. You tried to kill me with that goddamn table. I still can't feel anything from the waist down, motherfucker.
Oh my god.
All right, so what are we on now? 3? We're down to the nitty gritty.
What?
With final 3, or is it 4?
Yeah. Goddamn angry.
Well, part 4 though, the women in part 4 are hotter than hell too. Judy Aronson, I always loved her.
Oh, part 4.
She has aged gracefully too. Have you seen her recently? Holy shit! What in the hell, man?
Anyway, a little voice. It was a test run. Fuck you, Gibbs.
Fuck you, son. Fuck you.
You're gonna come up there where you live in New Connecticut, Shiresburg, or wherever the fuck it is. All right, number 3. What's that on my list? Oh, and yeah, this one was one of my favorite, and it still is, but I think the other two have kind of risen above it. Part 7, New Blood. Leaving aside, and I'm not going to point out anybody in specific, some of the acting in that movie is horrible.
Yeah.
Like bad.
The mother in that's fucking terrible too. What was her?
And a lot of the dialogue, it's not got the best script of the bunch. It really doesn't. And it's a shame that so many of the kills got neutered, and we'll never see the full unexpurgated version of it. Because I mean, it's the most egregious of all the cuts that were done to all the Friday the 13th movies as part 7.
Let me ask you this, because I've heard multiple things about the uncut version of that movie. I've heard that the footage is destroyed.
Yes.
But I've also heard that the footage probably is somewhere, but Paramount's vault is a fucking mess.
All I will tell you is I saw the destroy letter. It was shown to me by one of the producers of one of the Blu-rays. That they showed me the letter that was pulled from the file saying, please, destroy this footage. We don't need it, basically.
Wow.
That was done 20 years ago.
Unfortunate, man.
Fuck.
Now, whether that actually happened or someone didn't just take the footage and take it home with them, I guess that's possible. But officially, they ordered it destroyed.
But there's like a VHS copy.
Yeah, and it's. I'm glad that we have that.
Right.
But it just serves to remind us of, Jesus, they cut a lot of stuff out of this. So there's that. What I love about that movie, though, is, again, Kane Hodder is so fucking good in that part. And the makeup on him is the best in the series, as far as I'm concerned. Because it addresses all the continuity from all the injuries he received and the expressiveness. That's one of those ones where when the mask comes off, instead of going, oh, it's, oh, fuck. I mean, it really is.
Well, I thought he kind of looked like a boglin or something, though. It almost looked like
he's been
puppet.
In the water and buried. So he's going to look like that. And I just love it. I think it's great. And the stunt work is great. And it's just, I just love that movie. I love the score. With his robot eye.
He's got a robot eye too.
Jackson Jack is
oh god,
robot eye and alligator legs.
Well, I don't understand Jackson Jack's hostility.
I like Elizabeth Catane though, man.
No, she was great. I mean, and I again, it's basically Jason versus Carrie, and that's fine. But I really do enjoy that movie, and again, I enjoy Kane Hodder's performance. I love the makeup. It's just, that's how it is.
Oh my god!
So there you go.
That's the shirt right there. It's gonna be Slippy and Kane Hodder getting married, and Kane Hodder's got alligator legs, and Slippy's got a robot eye.
Okay, I'm telling you right now, if that shirt ever shows up,
it will now for
whether
sure.
it's by you or someone else.
We could get AI to design it.
I'm burning down Prestonsburg. That's it. That's all I'm doing.
AI.
What are your thoughts about the dad in the lake shit in part
Goofy
7?
as shit.
I always just thought like that is the worst part of that movie. By
that actor looked goofier and shit
well,
too.
when he
didn't
pops out of the movie, and I'm just going to assume it's her fantasy of it because it doesn't make any sense because it's like, wait a minute, so the dad drowned in the lake and they just left his ass in there, and then he pops out looking perfectly fine.
Yeah,
it's like what the fuck? Originally, he was zombified when he popped out.
Yeah, like why would they mess with
actually
that?
still doesn't make sense because it's like, really, they still left him there? And it's just like, Daddy died in the lake. Fuck him. Just,
who cares? Yeah, leave him there.
Yeah, get him out of
there.
there.
Anyway. Fuck the asshole. Let him rot. Let the alligators eat him. But it was just like, I
always felt though that part 7 kind of looked cheap too. Like it just looks like a cheaply made movie.
No, I didn't feel that so much at all, really. It's not the most. I mean, I will say this: it's not the most dynamic setting. It's basically just a lot of woods and a couple of houses. There's really not.
I filmed it in Georgia.
I think they filmed it in Alabama. I think is where they filmed
or Alabama.
The only place more redneck than Kentucky, I think.
Yeah,
they filmed this.
That house explosion at the end is a motherfucker. You can see the goddamn camera shaking from side to side. And everyone I've ever talked to said, "Yeah, that thing was a little bit more than we thought it was going to be." Because it knocked people over from like a football field away. So that was really good. But again, I really liked the things I like about that movie. I love, so it makes up for the stuff that's really not so good.
So yeah, and this movie like moves the timeline along too. So
it does because it's an undetermined amount of time since part 6, whether it's a year or 2 years. I don't know how long it's been, but he's still under the lake. Still lying there, and presumably.
Yeah, because like it happens when the opening part is like when
she
she's
accidentally
younger.
wakes him up when she goes. No, the thing with the father, the flashback, he's just there. Jason doesn't do shit.
Yeah, Jason's already there. That's what I'm saying. So
so she goes out into the lake as the Park Lincoln, and I don't know if she's trying to resurrect her father or what the fuck's going on, but then she accidentally wakes Jason up.
So they leave multiple dead bodies in the lake.
Yeah, I get with Crystal Lake. They're like, we'd go out there, but fuck them. It's just
one of them bodies is Jason, so I'm not going anywhere.
I don't want to fuck
there.
with that. So if anybody else who dies out there, let Jason have him. Fuck it.
But yeah, we're led to believe that Jason's been in the lake for a few years at least, right? Probably 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. And there's really no way to tell because he was already rotted and fucked up when he went in the water. So
yeah,
but.
And then they went away from Manfredini's score in 7 as well.
It has the worst opening theme of any other Friday the 13th movies. This is it. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Again. Dun 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 for like 2 minutes. Dun 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 dun. It's like, really? You couldn't come up with anything better than dun 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 dun. But whatever.
Keith Stolfson loves the score in part 7, though.
The score is really good. I just don't like the opening theme because there isn't one. It's just basically a cat walking across a Casio keyboard. Dun 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 dun. It's like, all right.
I think part 7 is a pretty safe one for a kid. Like, well, a kid nowadays wouldn't be allowed to watch it, but back in the day, kids could watch horror movies and stuff. So this was
pretty well, yeah. I mean, it's been neutered all to hell. There's hardly any gore in it whatsoever. I mean, especially with the big weed whacker kill. It's like it looks like he tickles him with it, and then that's like.
But it's a good one to start a kid off on back.
Well, it was one of the first ones I saw.
Yeah, me too.
It was the second one that I saw, so it didn't scar me for life or anything. So,
are there titties in 7? I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Caton's. We see her. Yeah. So, but again, it's not like there's not a lot of rough simulated sex in there or anything that I can recall.
Yeah, that was cut out as well, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Candace.
So that's that would be number 3.
He's surprised at 13.
Portal
to hell.
Portal to hell. We do have almost 300 people checking us out live, so we want to thank you guys.
I'm sorry.
On all the channels, Felsher's Facebook page, Born to Be Rad channel, and Dead Pit on YouTube and Kick. We're on Kick.
Kick it, brother.
Cameron said horror is a portal to evil.
It's a portal to hell, straight to it.
All right, whatever.
Candace Cameron probably watches.
Funny,
all
that's
kinds
what
of
I
old
always
movies.
thought Full House was. So I guess we know.
Candace Cameron only watches Kirk Cameron movies.
Them damn police kicked the shit out of Stephanie Tanner in some riot. Did y'all see that?
What?
No.
They did.
Yeah, Stephanie Tanner got the shit kicked out of her by the damn SWAT team or something. Didn't she?
I guess they didn't like Full House either.
Out there in California. She got like, grabbed her.
I like we've got like all
turned
this,
into Cartman.
all this dissertation and all this.
Yeah.
I like we got all this dissertation, you know, this conversation and arguing back and forth, and Greg Harris comes in with, "I do love me some titties."
That's where this
He
conversation
even went through
really
the trouble
started.
of doing the parentheses and the little period, and the only way that would be better if he said it with an English accent. I do love me some titties. Oh dear. Can't go wrong with boobies.
All right, so now we're down to the final two.
Yes.
I think I know what
My
they are.
second choice is Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. Which I think arguably is the best made out of all the Friday the 13th movies. I think the photography is fantastic. It's such Tommy McLaughlin does such a great job with the directing and everything.
I saw it at the same time.
What?
No.
J-Dad, is that who you're talking?
Yeah. Anyway.
It's such a classy chat. It really is. I mean, but no, Jason Lives, I think, is...
Come on, Slippy, you pussy!
The best Tom Matthews impression in any
Sheriff Jason's out there. I'm trying to tell you. He's going to be out there killing people.
I don't remember Tommy sounding like that. I'm trying to remember, but I don't think he sounds
exactly
like
that.
Oh
anyway, God.
So yeah, part 6 is great. Yeah.
Come on, I got gas in a big rock, Jason.
I got gas in a big rock.
In a chain, you pussy.
Why does he sound like the Matt Damon puppet from Team America? Matt Damon.
I got gas and a big shack.
In a rock.
Come on. I got a boulder in my boat, Jason. I'm ready for you, pussy.
I feel like I've missed out on something here, and then I don't know what the hell's going on.
It's just a recurring Tom Matthews impression. I think it's the only one in existence. Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm not wading into this shit. This is one of those ones where I'm going to get call from some of my clients going, I can't believe you were doing that shit. How could you participate in something so demeaning?
How could you tell them to shit in a box?
Well, they wouldn't care about that, but you know. It's just,
yeah, everybody shits in a box.
And I won't be able to walk by Tom Matthews ever again.
I saw you on that live stream, Felsher.
Slippy.
I was going to take it to Applebee's. Fuck you now, pussy.
Get off the street. I was going to take it out.
This is not funny at all.
No Bourbon Street steak for you, Slippy.
It's not funny.
Imagine if you was at a convention and you hear him screaming, you on there, you puss.
I condemn this conversation. I can't. This is wrong, and I think you should be embarrassed for this.
Oh my god!
Holy shit!
The level you've brought this down to, I think it's awful.
Oh my god!
It's not.
I think I passed out.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
I can't say nothing else. I don't think I'd be able to. Sorry.
So yeah, part 6 is great.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is great. It is.
I like part 6 was the first one that I ever saw as a kid. Like
that was my first one as well. Was part 6. That's the first one I saw. And somehow I was able to pick up on everything with it very easily. It's a self-contained story. You just accept Jason was buried and this guy's got a grudge, and then once he's reanimated, it's just like, oh, okay. It's like a Frankenstein story. It was very easy to kind of wrap your head around it.
And they had the Alice Cooper song and the video and all that stuff from back in the day.
And I loved I like when the kids are hiding under the bed. So, what were you going to be when you grew up? I like that a lot.
Yeah, that was the first one with actual kids.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And unfortunately, it's like, well, he didn't kill the kids because they were smart. They hid better. Yeah. No, I think part 6 is really, that's as solid a horror movie as you're likely to see. And it's just exceptionally well made and good actors all around. And again, that's one of those ones where it's like, this is kind of like a real movie. This is
very well made for sure.
Yes, very.
I kind of agree with Blue-ray. It feels like that paintball scene felt out a little out of place in the movie, but
it's a kind of goofy scene. But
wasn't that like a reshoot or something like that?
Well, yeah, that was part of the original because that's not C.J. Graham in that scene. It was the actor they originally hired. So I think that was actually part of the. Now they might have shot some other parts of it later. But all the parts with Jason, that's not actually C.J. Graham. Because C.J. came in to replace the person they had at some point. But what I found interesting about this is we spend quite a bit of time with them, and then they just get killed instantly. So it was just kind of like, I was starting to kind of like those guys, and they're dead. It's like, oh, shit, okay. So, yeah. But that is a different tone than the rest of the picture. But, I don't know. It's just like, dig him up. Do they think I'm some kind of fart head?
That's a great line.
Some people have a strange idea of entertainment.
And that was the one that was shot in Georgia, though, right? I know one of them was made in Georgia.
That one was shot in Georgia.
And a lot of that, I think, didn't Sean Clark do like a video?
I think he did. Yeah, I think they went down there.
A lot of that area still looks the same.
Yeah, well, because, it was way out in the middle of nowhere.
It's Georgia.
But
that... I can't even talk anymore. Part 6 is over the years, like I think it was one of the first ones that I watched, but over the years it's become like one of my least favorites, just because it's like a Universal Monster Jason movie, and I always thought Jason should be like a fucking exploitation style movie.
Well, it was a shift. He's now zombie Jason. Now he's Frankenstein's. He's Frankenstein basically.
Yeah.
Frankenstein's monster. So that's a shift. So if you don't like that, or if that's not what you responded to, you're not necessarily going to respond to part 6 as much. But that's where the series took a big switch.
MTV Jason's a good description, I think.
But
it was definitely one of the more mainstream Jason movies, because I think the art design and the way it was filmed and the poster and everything.
It's great. It's really, it was a big tick up in terms of the overall craft in the series.
Most of the Friday the 13th posters are not very good, but that one is great.
Well, especially the theatrical posters. Some of them are just words.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like part 4, the Mask VHS poster or whatever is way better than the original one sheet, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't. Did they have a video poster of the Mask from part 4, I think, maybe?
The video poster was definitely that art showed up for the home video release. But the theatrical release was just words. That's all.
Yeah, it made it kind of really strange. And I think what part 2 was similar, no? And
Part 2 at least had the.
It's like a big logo or something, right? And it has the body count continues on it. I think.
Part 3 had the shower, the knife going through the shower.
Yeah.
Part 4 was all words. Part 5 was all words.
Yeah.
6 was great.
6,
7.
Everything from 6 on is great. Everything from 6 on is really strong. But Part 5. Not only did it have a terrible. There's an alternate artwork with Tommy Jarvis standing there with the machete.
Yeah.
That's fine. That works good. But the theatrical poster was just words, and then the video art is the cheapest, dumbest looking shit.
Oh my god! But it's so classic though, because I seen that on the shelf as a kid. I was like, "What the hell?"
I understand the nostalgia for it, but really, for me, it was like I can imagine the marketing meeting at Paramount. All right, what are we releasing this month on video? We got Friday the 13th Part 5. All right, what do we got for theatrical art? It's just words. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Here's my kid's hockey mask and a red light bulb. Go to town. And that's it. It's just like,
I need that
they
promo
didn't even fucking
lamp.
try with this.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But
So I guess we know what part
yeah.
your favorite is then, right? And there's not much of a surprise there.
And he's right, for sure.
It's Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. Now, I'm not for 1 second saying that Friday the 13th Part 5 is a better made movie than Part 6. And I'm also not saying that it is. I like it for all the rough edges. I like it for how goddamn loopy and bizarre it is. The characters in that movie are so over the top and weird and inexplicable that I can never wrap my head fully around what the hell it is I'm watching half the time. It is also sleazy as fuck. It is also truly sadistic. It makes absolutely no sense at the end of the day. But there's a tone with that movie that I just absolutely love. I just love how completely batshit crazy that movie is. And there's some of the best dialogue, some of the best one-liners in that movie. And the characters. I remember the characters from that movie so well. You know, and again, I can't understand. There's stuff I'll never understand about that movie. This halfway house. What were the rules to get into this place? It's like,
that's exactly the problem. Yeah,
I don't understand. It's like, okay, so you've got a kid who's mentally incapacitated, retarded or whatever the proper phrase is.
It was retarded back then.
Yeah,
well, I heard the words coming back in this year, so I mean, I think it's okay.
We're bringing it back.
Retarded.
I saw an article on it.
Back. So he's there. You've got a kid with a stutter because apparently you need to go to halfway house if you've got a stutter. You've got a girl who's just a rock and roll, like a punk freak who's a bitch. So just being a bitch means you get to go there. You've also got 2 kids who just like to fuck all the time. So that's why they're there. You got Tommy because he's been dealing with the serial killer and he's fucked up as a result of that. Okay. You've got the angriest man in the world there. So I cannot get any idea of what the fuck any of this has to do with anything. And their idea is, well, let's put all these kids together. We won't have any real kind of security or anything. Oh, we'll have an elderly guy who maintains the grounds, and we'll let his grandkid just run around the place, willy-nilly, just talking to everybody. And we'll have free time, social time, so they can all gather around the backyard and make sure to give the angriest man in the world an axe. And just let him chop wood all day in the hot sun. There's absolutely no way that's going to go bad for anybody. And so it's just like, what the fuck is this place? What is going on? And the whole idea of, oh my God, that's Roy's kid. It's like, but who's Roy? Well, I know who Roy is because the movie seems to be spending an awful lot of time lingering on shots of him doing this shit. It's just like, well, I think that's going to come back in the, And then even all the way to the end, when they're sitting there in the hospital, and it's just like, this is the backstory, and there's a newspaper with a posed photo of Jason in the hockey match. When did Jason pose?
It's like on the Jason trading card.
When did Jason pose for that photo? It looks like he was walking along the street, and some paparazzo was like, "Hey, Jason, what a scoop!" And he's like, "Oh, you got me." It's just like, what? It's like, what? I mean, it's so baffling, but I fucking love every deranged minute of that movie.
It's the most rewatchable of them all.
It is.
I think.
I can pop that one in on a dime and watch it.
I think a lot of it is the characters too. There's so many
yeah.
great, memorable characters.
Ethel and Junior and all. I mean, again, it's like, why are they there? Why are these? Why is any of the? There's so many points in that movie where I'm like, why are they here? Why is anybody here? Why is
the shit too with the like dead in the middle of the movie? Well, with Demon too, but with the what's her name? Where they're oh god, the Tom DeSimone or Bob DeSimone or whatever. Like
but
out
with
of
the
nowhere.
waitress, why is that? And then like the two greasers from The Outsiders.
They're just throwaway characters that just pop up.
Yeah, I mean, it's so obvious. Like, we need people to kill. Hi, two people. I mean, it's just like what? And then
Danny Steinman. Danny Steinman's like the perfect filmmaker for Friday the 13th movie.
I think in the end he absolutely was, because he just brought I don't give a fuck, so I'm just going to do every crazy goddamn thing I can think of. And it's weird. It's like he brought this exploitation background. He came off of Savage Streets and The Unseen, and everyone's like, well, he did pornos. Ooh. If you've ever seen his porno film, High Rise, it's the sweetest, nicest porno ever made. It's like this flower child, hippie kind of fun. Everyone's fucking and in a good mood, but it's the sweetest porno I've ever seen. So it's like, in order to become sleazy, he had to go legit. It's like, this doesn't make any sense to me at all. But I love it, and I love Demon and the goddamn enchiladas, and I mean all that shit. It's just one of those films where every goddamn minute of it, I cannot say I sat there watching it going, well, I expected that to happen. No, I mean none of it. It's just like, I don't know.
Is that true? Was she a fucking teacher too? If so, it's freaking amazing.
Well, oh yeah, and that's another thing, and it's a little bit of a Debbie Sue Voorhees. Well, let's say, how old was I when I saw that movie? Oh, I was 13. Do the math.
I mean,
yeah, it's just like,
yeah.
Well, there's rumors that like they have a shit ton of footage of that, and I don't blame Danny Steinman one bit, because, like, as far as just a natural, just big bosomed woman, does it get any? I mean, because this was like these were legit.
It doesn't. I mean, look, I don't want to get into a crude discussion about, because I've met her. She's a lovely person. I love her attitude towards the series and the fans. I really do. But I mean, again, it's just like the best thing I can describe. You know what? You know how I feel about Debbie Sue Voorhees? Watch the video, the music video that was done. I can't remember the name of the band who did it, but it's a tribute to Friday Part 5 and a young boy who watched that movie and fell in love with Debbie Sue Voorhees. It's I'm sure someone can remind me what it is. It's a brilliant video, but it's a tribute to her and Friday the 13th Part 5 that will explain exactly the age I was and what happened to me when I watched that movie. It is so fucking great. I can't even begin to tell you. Anyway. But I love it. I just love Part 5, and I cannot. Again, if you're talking about, is it the best made Friday the 13th movie? No, not even. No. Is it the most tightly scripted? No. Is it? I mean, it technically speaking, it ranks below probably several of the others, but.
Is it the most entertaining?
Oh, fuck! For me, it is.
That's what I always say. Yeah.
It is absolutely Wolfie's Just Fine. That's the name of the band. They did the song about Friday 5. That sums up everything you need to know about how a certain generation felt about Debbie Sue Voorhees in this movie. It's a total love letter to her and the film.
Did you see the Dudley Gets Diddled episode of Different Strokes with?
Oh yes, with the bicycle owner. Yes, with Gordon Jump. I remember seeing that and it traumatized the shit out of me. It's just like, oh yeah.
Come to the back room, Dudley. Or whatever he says.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, that one was really. Yeah. In fact, I wish we could play that Wolfie's Just Fine video, because that would sum up everything I have to say about Friday the 13th Part 5. It's such a loving tribute to that to that movie.
Well, if we wouldn't get flagged, we probably could, but you never know about these things.
Yeah. But Friday 5. Again, that is. I can't argue. I can't argue the technical merits necessarily, and in terms of it, is it a solid a film as part 6. No, in terms of the craft, no. But
it's the most quotable phrase.
Oh God,
I can remember everything that like Ethel says.
I can,
Demon
that's
says,
the thing.
and
It's
like,
all I can all the dialogue, the fact that he didn't, like Melanie Kinnaman's a great final girl because she whips out a chainsaw on the motherfucker, and it's just like, oh yeah, I like this woman a lot, and I really enjoyed the fact that.
Random.
Oh, you worked on the Wolfie's Just Fine video? It is so fucking good. Oh my God, it is so fucking good. I would encourage everyone to go watch that, and you'll understand. You can. That's the best way to describe how a young boy who's coming of age and encounters Friday the 13th Part 5 feels about Debbie Sue Voorhees.
When I was a kid, though, that was the one that I watched by far more than any of the other
Me too.
It seems like it was on TV a lot more than all the other ones too, for some reason.
That was the first time I saw it was on cable.
I saw 6, 7, 5, 4, 1, 2, 3, then 8. I know it doesn't make any fucking sense, but I got into horror in '86. So that's how that kind of happened.
It seems like the first 2 didn't get as much play on TV or anything.
You're right. And part 3 got a lot, surprisingly, but 4 did. 4 was on time all the time. And then 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 were just available. By that point I was renting videos and buying a lot of those, so I own those on tape. But
Isn't it sad though that like so much time has went by? I mean, it may be a good thing because they're not really making too many good movies anymore. But like, if you really think about it, in the past 30 plus years, we've only had 3 Friday the 13th movies?
Yeah, they were banging them out there every other year. I think in the 80s, the only 2 years that didn't have one were 1982 and 1987. I think those were the only 2 years we didn't have.
Sounds right, yeah.
And then it was interesting, like 89 was the year that all the franchises caved. Nightmare 5 bombed, Part 8 bombed, Halloween 5 bombed, and then horror changed after that. It was like everything, it was almost like this, the 80s are over, we're done with that shit. And then it was just like, because Freddy was like, Part 3 exploded, and Part 4 even bigger than that, and then Part 5, and then
they hurried and shit. Yeah, they didn't take their time. They hurried it out and everything.
And I think it was one of those situations where his popularity just exploded so fast. People were like, "Okay, enough, Freddy." And it also didn't help the fact that Part 5 wasn't very good. But then also Part 8 was a disappointment. I remember there was a lot of talk about when Part 8 came out that this might be something of a sleeper hit because there was a lot of interest. And there had been that controversy about the poster, the I Love New York poster, that they had to recall because it was like a copyright of the Tourist Association of New York or whatever. And people were talking about Part 8 like this might be kind of a breakout hit for the series, and it totally wasn't.
It's weird because that was the one I remember as a kid like really seeing a lot of hype for. I was really learning about Jason. Like he was on Arsenio Hall.
Oh yeah, that is a great. If you could watch that, he never breaks character. Kane just sits there and every now and then just looks at him, and Arsenio's genuinely freaked out by it. It's really a great little segment.
So they were really hyping that for sure.
Yeah, but no one, again, the movie just, it's like, oh, it's Jason's on the love boat. Yeah, fucking great.
With all the talk, though, with the Crystal Lake TV show and everything, what did you think of the original TV series that came out in like the late 80s?
If you can get past the idea that it had nothing to do with Jason Voorhees, which they were very clear about going in, which I appreciated, I enjoyed that series very much. I thought it was an interesting and the idea of the haunted objects, and I like John DeLeMay and Roby a lot. And David Cronenberg did a fantastic episode of that show called Faith Healer that I would really recommend people going and checking out. With Robert
it lasted a few seasons too, right?
It did. It was on for quite a while, and then it kind of petered out towards the end. Once John DeLeMay left, I was just like, I'm kind of done with this.
I just remember though,
it was good.
That show as a kid, like watching it constantly on network television, and also like, I think pretty much everybody was fascinated with her.
Oh yeah,
more so than like she was like a breakout star of that just because of like the sex appeal and everything of it.
And everyone was like, she only has one name. What's up with that? She's Roby. Like, I don't know. But I liked the show. I liked the show quite a bit. There were a lot of good horror anthologies on around that time. You had Tales from the Dark Side. You had Monsters. You had Freddy's Nightmare, but that didn't last very long, and I didn't think that was particularly great. But yeah, it was a really fallow period it was a really great period for horror. There was just a lot of stuff on the air, and then a lot of stuff in theaters, and then the '90s rolled in, and everything kind of ground to a halt. Mm-hmm. All that shit just kind of went away. It seemed like '89 to '90, it's like, everything became a suspense thriller. Everything became a thriller with horror elements in it, or something like that.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Probably had a lot to do with that, too.
Silence of the Lambs, 7, all that shit. And it wasn't until Scream came along that horror kind of exploded in another wave again. But that took like 6 years. Not that there weren't hit horror films along the way, but there were one-offs. Like Pet Sematary did really great. Candyman did really great. But that didn't inspire, 50 other films like it, though. So it's weird.
Yeah, it was a weird time there for a few years, late 80s, early 90s. And I don't think it really recovered until Scream, really.
No, Scream was the next big thing at the end of '96 or whatever it was, and that kicked off a whole new wave. And then there was the J-horror, and then the torture porn. All that stuff came in short order after that. But that was the longest gap where it seemed like there just wasn't there wasn't a trend in horror.
There was a lot of like direct-to-video, like Vidmark, cheapo.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of horror went really big on the direct-to-video stuff. In the '90s, that's where they felt the money was, and so it got kind of ghettoized for a little bit.
I think that would be a cool documentary to do.
It would just be the trends of horror. I think are very interesting.
Yeah,
the periods of because the '80s there were so many horror movies of so many different kinds in the '80s. And
isn't it crazy how many slasher movies there were in the '80s?
I mean, that's the thing that both helped and hurt the genre. In that, they were popular, but it wasn't exactly a very creatively fertile ground,
That being said, though, Felsher, what's your favorite, like Friday the 13th ripoff slasher?
My favorite slasher is Intruder.
Ah, that's a good one.
I fucking love Intruder. That movie is so
that 4K's coming out, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, and I've seen it, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely.
Who's doing that one now?
Synapse.
Oh, they're doing Intruder 4K. Okay, great.
Yeah, I've seen it, and it is beautiful. I wouldn't have thought, because I thought the Blu-ray looked fantastic.
Yeah,
but it blows the Blu-ray out of the water.
Danny Hicks is amazing.
Oh,
I just love this damn store.
I'm just crazy about this store. I love that movie. I think Scott Spiegel just went. He knew he had a simple premise, a great location, a solid cast, and a fantastic lead actor, and he had K&B. Right when they first formed K&B, so he had them for nothing. Yeah. And it's just like, let's just go to town and make the best goddamn grocery store slasher we can make. And I adore Intruder. I absolutely adore Intruder.
There aren't a whole lot of grocery store slasher movies now that I think about it.
Yeah, I can't think of too many. I think it's just Intruder, and that's pretty much, after Intruder, what more could you do?
Right.
I mean, it's just...
It's crazy that there's always more of these slasher movies from the 80s that are still coming out that I've never seen.
It's a never-ending reservoir. I don't think there's an end to it. Because, again, think about it. You could do a slasher movie for $5, and there's a lot of regional slashers that came out that got wide distribution because there was a market for it. You could funnel them to any number of video labels, and they're like, yeah, we'll take it. We'll throw some killer artwork on it, and bring it out, I mean, how many?
And they all did probably pretty good in the video store, right?
Again, there wasn't much investment going in. They weren't spending millions of dollars on these things. It's funny. A lot of these movies, they're spending way more to restore them in 4K than they ever did to make the movie in the first place.
Yeah, I know Arrow did a lot of those a few years ago, like they did Blu-ray remasters on a lot of those regional slasher movies.
I've reconstructed several of them. I reconstructed like Revenge, and a couple of the others I've done. I did the Halloween Haunted Ween.
That was the one from Kentucky, right?
Yeah, I did that one, and so a lot of these were shot on film, but then they were edited on video. So to go back and do a proper restoration,
I'll tell you one that was
back and reconstruct it from.
That they did that I thought was pretty good and I'd never seen it before. I think it was called Hell High or something like that.
Yeah, I did an interview on that one with one of the actors. That movie is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a few of them that slip through the cracks.
It's also known as Raging Fury, I think. It's another, which I don't like as much because it's like that sounds like a Jackie Chan movie.
Yeah. So, but guys, we've had near over 300 people throughout most of the night. So we appreciate everybody tuning in and everything. Felsher, appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, sure.
And what's what's the next release coming out? I guess you don't have a release date though, right?
No, not yet. Hunter's Blood will be the next thing, and that's almost. I'm turning everything in this week actually on that. And then there'll be Parts of Darkness, which will come out soon, and Angel of Heat, and we're working on all the other stuff too. We're just, there's just a lot of coordinating, getting some of the elements for these things together. But the good thing is we know where all the stuff is now, for like all the prom night movies and everything. So it's just a matter of getting that stuff in. But no, it's busy times here right now, certainly. And I can't say anything about what's going to be on the disc. But it's well known now that there's a Night of the Living Dead 1994K coming.
Savini commentary's for sure going to be on it.
I just recorded it with him last week.
Wait, who's doing this?
Sony.
Oh, they're doing it's a studio release then. It's going to do. Okay.
And I have to tell you, I don't want to get into any details, but they really went above and beyond with this.
Wow.
They really put a lot of attention in.
Well, you've been talking about it for years.
Yeah, there's just been some delays that came up for various reasons. Some of it was on my end, some of it was on their end. Some of the elements were missing; they couldn't find it. I mean, it was just a whole bunch of stuff. But they've been really dedicated to this project. I can't tell you how cool they've been. And when you see the final results, you're going to see you're going to see some stuff you've never seen before. And it's really
good.
They gave it a lot of love, and Tom Savini is very happy with what's
now. Savini said it'll be out before Halloween.
That I have no idea. I do not know. I have no control over that.
That's the rumor.
Well, that may be the rumor, but that's not my rumor. I have.
It's interesting. Like,
we need you to verify that though for us real quick. Could you?
I cannot.
Be out before Halloween.
There's something else though, like the Ghoulies Go to College. We're talking about that for a while too.
Yeah.
What do you think about like what Lionsgate? I guess they were figuring out how they wanted to release these, and now they're evidently all like online exclusives.
Yeah, they have their Lionsgate Limited line that they're doing. It's kind of like a collector's. I don't know if it's a club or not. I don't know. I'm not involved in that. I don't know how that works necessarily, but they're doing it as much more of an online exclusive.
So they're making probably way fewer copies than they did before.
That I don't know.
Well, if it's online exclusive and it's not, I'm guessing they're not going to have them in Walmart or anything. So
I don't know.
Yeah, I probably don't think so. I think it's just for the site. Yeah.
But I'm working on. I mean, we've got All of Me. They announced May. Now they've announced Ghoulies Go to College. I'm finishing up another one for them this month, and I'm hopefully there's going to be more. There's going to be a lot more.
Well, yeah, they're spitting those out pretty quick now that after this hiatus for sure.
Yeah. Now we're getting back in the run of having a regular supply of these from now on.
Okay.
And so because there was just too long a gap, and I think they really want to get that Lionsgate Limited thing up and more. I mean, they're doing like Frailty. They just announced Frailty as a 4K, which I'm really excited about. So I think that's going to be more. They're going to do They're going to aim towards the collector's market. I think a little bit more.
I'm going to wait for the Black Friday sales. Well, this is a little bit too high for my blood, but I mean, I'm definitely getting Ghoulies Go to College.
Oh yeah.
At some point.
Now I got some good stuff for that. I would have my only regret with that is I knew John Carl Beekler, and we had actually talked about if at Ghoulies College ever come up, would you like to just say, oh yeah, I love that. I had so much fun. I would have loved to have gotten him to be involved with this. He would have been so much fun. But one of the interviews on there is with one of the special effects artists, Mike Deek, and it's a real loving tribute to John actually, because he worked with him on all the Ghoulies movies and several other projects as well. So it's really nice to have it. And then everyone just speaks so highly of him, all the people that I interviewed, and it was a little bit bittersweet. But Ghoulies Go to College is my favorite of the Ghoulies movies by far. I
love the new artwork.
Yeah, we got two artworks on that actually. They don't do this very often, but the O card on the front sleeve is the new artwork that was done by an artist from Germany named Ralph Krauss, who's done a lot of releases overseas. But I asked him, I said, would you do something? And he gave me this. I was like, oh my God, this is so perfect. So we used that. And then on the reverse sleeve, there was a piece of art that was done for the movie that wasn't used by a fantastic artist named Jim Warren. He had an original slide of his artwork, and he sent it to me, so we were able to do a high-res scan. So the reverse cover has that artwork on it, and so it's really cool. It's really, really cool.
Sweet. Very cool. All right, and Garrett, what do you got coming up on the Born to Be Rad channel, man?
Well, since it's Friday 13th tomorrow, you can check out 7 movies. If you like Friday the 13th, you should check out. So it's kind of resembles Friday the 13th, but it's not Friday the 13th. So you can check out those tomorrow.
Cool. Me and Uncle Bill's got the video out. A lot of people have been checking it out. The Pittsburgh trip from last weekend at the Living Dead weekend, and it sounded like you had a good time.
Yeah, I enjoyed your summary. That was really good.
Yeah, that was
glad
probably.
You guys went out to Evans City after all.
Yep, we took off right after that and went out there.
Left
yeah,
lunch, you were thinking about going out there, so I'm glad you did.
And they added a couple of things I hadn't seen. I haven't been there since 2016, so like it's been
I haven't been there in a while. I think I got there not long after they restored the chapel. That was the last time I was there. That's been a while now.
But yeah, it's right up there in my top kind of experiences in terms of like being able to go out and find landmarks for movies and locations and things like that. And actually,
you went to the Creep Show house, right?
Went to the Creep Show house. Went to the house that Billy got shot at.
Oh yeah,
Carnegie Mellon.
Carnegie Mellon. Went to the Romero's office where the upstairs.
Fort Pitt Boulevard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the one place that we didn't go to was the bridge from Tales from the Dark Side.
No,
that's a couple hours away from.
That's kind of
Pittsburgh,
far. It's a little bit out. I mean, that's the thing. There's a lot of areas where they shot a lot of those movies, but some of them are pretty far flung. They're not as quite close to Pittsburgh as you might think. So yeah, it would take a couple of days to really get to all of that stuff.
There was a bunch of stuff I wanted to do the Night of the Living Dead 90 cemetery and all that, but that was too far away.
That's in Washington. That's way out.
Yeah. I wanted to do the bridge from the Mothman Prophecies movie, but that was too far away. Like there were several things.
The house from Silence of the Lambs is outside of Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
that's Bill's house.
Is that still an Airbnb? I think it's still an Airbnb. You can actually.
I think
stay
so.
there.
I think he charges or somebody owns it and charges money to stay there or something.
Yeah, they turned it
hit
into
that like button, baby. Fondle it, if you will.
It's weird though how many places around Pittsburgh were like filming locations, like not just for Romero, but like
absolutely tons. Yeah, a lot of. It's weird. Pittsburgh has never had a regular film industry, like studios and setups like that. A lot of films come in and out, and that's it. But a lot of films have come in and out of there, and it's the TV shows that film there, but no one ever sticks around. And I don't know why that is. I mean, George was really the only one that had sort of a regular setup there. But even then, it was like there wasn't like the Pittsburgh Film Studios with, like Atlanta has tons of studios and stuff like that. It's like a filmmaking hub. Mm-hmm. But Pittsburgh never got that, and I don't know why, because it's a great place to film.
Mm-hmm.
So
when did that office close, Felsher? That Laurel? Because we went there and looked at it, and there was still the Laurel sticker and stuff on the door. Like,
oh yeah, no, it wasn't. I mean, they were there a long time. I mean, I think into the 90s, it was still there. I'm probably not the best person to ask, but they were there for. I mean, because it became. Actually, it may have. I don't know if Russ and Jack kept it there after George left Laurel or not, because it became. It was Latent Image, and then Laurel, and then George left Laurel in 85, 86, somewhere in there. So maybe it wasn't even as late as the 90s, but it lasted a lot longer than most people think it did. It wasn't like in the 70s or anything like that. It stuck around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they've pretty much, they not officially, but unofficially announced that there's a show coming in October at the mall, another Living Dead weekend.
I think they are doing it. I think they're going to do a few more because the mall's not going away immediately.
I think next June they've already pretty much got that one kind of secured too.
I don't know the details exactly, but I know that they are going to try and do at least a few more because the mall, they've got leases there that they can't. I don't know if they can't break them or don't want to break them, and so that there's still people there. They're going to be there a few years, so they're not going to start any widespread demolition or anything on the site until probably a few years from now.
Interesting. So Garrett's, you still got a chance. to go.
I know. I got to get.
It's
down
totally
there, man.
worth going because
I would 100%.
It really
go, yeah.
is. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to see, and
because even the mall itself, even as different as it is on the inside, when you walk in, you just feel it. It's like, yep, this is where they.
especially when you're going up the hill to it, like, and you see you're approaching the mall. It's pretty much
because when I
identical.
first went there was '94, and when I drove up, I cried when I first saw the mall because I was like, oh my god, my favorite movie of all time, and this is where they made it. And when I went in, the only things that were really different in '94 were the clock tower was gone, and the skating rink was gone. Everything else, the railings, the lighting fixtures, the little fountains, the footpath, the little bridge, the bank was still there. JCPenney's was still there. I mean, a few of the stores that were around then were gone, but I mean, it's still, when you walked in, it was just like, Jesus Christ, they could be filming the movie right now. And when I went there, it was Christmas time of '94. The fucking mall was packed. You couldn't have fit another person.
Is that when they got you on camera and that?
No, that was 2 years later.
Oh,
that was 2 years later when George did a signing. It was '96. And but every time I've gone back to the mall over the last 31 years, it's been a little less, a little less, a little less, and then the last couple of years, it's been like you could fire off a cannon in there and there's nobody there. Living Dead Weekend brings in more people that mall probably sees all year.
It is bizarre because while we were there, we were talking about this too. Savannah and I were like, we never saw anybody that wasn't there for that convention go into any of those stores.
No.
Not one time.
Well, no, Tom
did I
Savini Tom Savini was telling me he had been in there like the week before for something, and he was the only one in there.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like,
Yeah, there's there's parking spaces on that lot that have not seen a car in them since 1995.
Sad, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so, you know, the way I feel about Walmart coming in, I mean, you know, Walmart's no one's favorite company, but it's not hard to understand why. You know, it's like, well, what are you going to do? I mean, the mall's not, it's an outdated concept. The time of the mall has come and gone. And it's hard for me to come up with an argument to save the mall that doesn't boil down to, but Dawn of the Dead was filmed there. Mm-hmm. Economically, it's a drain. Economically, it's not doing anything for Monroeville at all. So it's like, you know, it's like, but I love it, but at the same time,
it's a gigantic mall too. It's not like a smaller
it's huge.
mall.
The property is enormous.
Yeah.
It is absolutely enormous, and it could absolutely be better utilized for the city of Monroeville. There's no denying that. But then again, you know, if I had $50 million, I would have bought the mall, reverted it back to how it looked in 1978, lived in it, and just recreated Dawn of the Dead all goddamn day.
Lived your life as a Dawn
that's
of the
what
Dead.
you would never see me outside again for the rest of my fucking life.
You got a lot of titles coming out in the next couple of years. You might be able to do it.
Oh yeah, I would totally fucking do that. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Buy it off of
but,
Walmart.
you know, that's just not the way it goes.
Got my Fright Night money, and I'm going to buy them all.
And I know that's heresy. Some people can't imagine. How could you be okay with it? I'm not okay with it. But I also recognize that the mall was built as a center for commerce. It was built there to supply goods and bring money into the economy for Monroeville. That's what it was there for. It's not doing that anymore.
Not at all, no.
So it's like, you know, I can already imagine how George would have taken the news. I know exactly how George would have reacted. He would have been like, yeah, Mike, what are you going to do? You know, because it's like
time marches on.
Yeah, that's the problem with this. It's just like there's nostalgia and a love for something. I mean, there's no other place like it where you can literally walk into a living, breathing movie set. Mm-hmm. You know, it just, even as different as it is now, you feel it when you walk in there. There's nothing like it. And I would like that to be preserved. Again, if it were up to me, I'd keep them all around forever. But you know, it's hard for me to argue that the land couldn't be utilized in a much better way. So it's weird. It's just, I don't know. I'm kind of
but there's still time if people haven't got a chance.
Yeah, it's not going away tomorrow. So
last couple of years or so, or however it's going to.
I would recommend anyone that has not made the trip out there, take a couple days to go out there.
But don't go to Permane Brothers and get a sandwich.
Oh, bullshit.
I don't like slaw.
We were talking about this. Their food is just like, it's okay.
Fine.
It's not horrible. It's not great. It's just, I don't know why the fuck people go on about it, but like,
yeah, that's the thing I don't get, because people talk about it like
exists.
it's a fucking religion.
Yeah.
there. It's like people have like diverted flights to go there and stop and go to premiere. I mean, the way people were talking about, maybe that was the problem. I heard way too many people say, my God, Primanti Brothers is fucking food Jesus. And I'm like, okay. And I go there and I'm like, yeah, it was okay. It was, not bad by any stretch, but I don't get why people are jizzing all over this place. I just don't get it, But
no, I mean, I've had, like I said, I've had better Reubens just at like diners and shit.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's
not
okay.
bad. I wouldn't turn it. I wouldn't not go if people were going. But
I'd rather have a brisket sandwich at Arby's, boys, any day.
Well, they have the meats.
The meats.
They do. Yeah. The meat.
I don't know what kind of meats they are, but they do have meats there.
But I wish they would bring back the Big Montana. That's what the world needs.
God.
The Big
Montana. Sounds like a porno term.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
he whipped out his Big Montana. And
a lot of porn stars down there did look like they had big Montanas. That kind of, yeah. But guys, we've been going on. Yeah, this is getting late, so I appreciate everybody tuning in. But I guess the next big thing that we're doing, Uncle Bill, and it's starting on the 22nd, is the Cruel Summer Slashback. This is like the Dead Pit equivalent of the Summer Book Club, boys, but it's for slasher movies. And the first one that we're doing, let's unveil it, boys. It's going to be huge because everybody loves these movies. I know Felsher loves both of them. Sweet 16 and Hide and Go Shriek are the first two up this summer. It's going to be huge. It's going to be great.
Both of those are classics.
Dana Kimmel. I got my copies here, boys. 88 films. So, yeah, that's going to be all summer long. Slasher movies. We got different themes, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Slippy loves both those movies. He's working on them right now, I think.
The 4K of Hide and Go Shriek.
Oh, no, we're doing an 8K of that.
Yeah, got you. That ending of that movie.
We're future-proofing that one for the generation.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. They can put it on the data chip. That's what the next format's going to be.
Insert into your head, and then you can interact with a full 360 experience of Hide and Go Shriek.
There you go.
Yeah, that's how that works.
But everybody, happy Friday the 13th. It's Saturday the 14th now. Saturday the 14th strikes back, right?
And I would just like to say one thing before I go. I would like to say to everybody who disagreed with my choices, and there seemed to be one or a lot of people who did, all I can say is, hey, it's just my opinion, no more important than anybody else's. This is just how I feel about it. And if that's still not good enough for you, go fuck yourselves.
I'd say, still buy my shit.
Yeah, exactly. And and it does. And again, I have a problem with anyone saying, I bought your stuff and now I'm going to burn it. Because again, I have your money. So please, what you do with it after I get your money,
destroy
I could
your
not
shit.
care less.
Yeah. I never did understand that. Yeah. They think that you're being physically hurt because they're destroying shit.
No, I don't. What do I care?
And they'll have FOMO and they'll rebuy it from you. How's that?
It's not a voodoo doll. It's not like I'm sitting there going, oh, God, someone's burning my shit.
Big killer. That worked that way.
Yeah, I really am glad it doesn't work that way. So that's just a lot. I would have been dead a long time ago. So, yeah.
Yeah, and also we do need to mention that we're doing a podcast series on Anchor Bay. We're kind of doing like a pilot episode.
Oh, really?
Next week. Yeah, Felsher. We maybe want to get you on there at some point.
I don't want to talk about Anchor Bay.
Okay.
Look, Anchor Bay.
That's all you don't have to convince me to talk about Anchor Bay. That's easy. That's,
Yeah, because it's kind of like, I guess we're trying to come up with what kind of themes we're going for and stuff. But yeah, each episode may be a different release or a different story behind a release or something like that.
Well, if you cover anything I worked on while I was there, I'm happy to come on and talk about it. That was a wonderful, exciting time in my life, some 20 years ago. So yeah, I have more stories than every time I tell a story, it kicks off memories of 5 other stories. So it's like a lot happened. A lot happened there.
Yeah. So I guess the first one will be out on Spotify and on the Born to Be Rad channel. So
you
guys can check that out.
Cool.
But yeah, get super late. My damn gummy bear is kicking in, man.
You're welcome, Nubbins.
You've ruined Nubbins.
Let
Friday
me know
the
what else I
13th
can ruin
this
for
year.
you, too. I'm here to fuck up everything you love. That's me. I shit on everything good.
Ruined your Friday the 13th.
Shit on it.
Poor Nubbins. All right, guys. We love Mr. Felcher at
for sure.
Slippity Dippity 2 Scoops.
What the fuck? Slippy, how do you feel about anal?
All right, gotta go.
I gotta be honest with you. I mean, yeah, I don't, if that's what you're into, I'm not, but I'll give it a shot if you want me to, I'll
give it a shot.
I'll just, if you're ready to take it up the ass, I guess, this is...
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean,
Garrett, this is not G-rated at all.
No. It is after hours, though, so it might work.
Slippy or Garrett, take off your shirt. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Pose down.
What?
That is a
Do
horrible
down.
fucking
The
idea.
ultimate pose down.
No.
Like fucking Scott Steiner and Triple H back in the day. Just start doing jumping
we need to
jacks.
send a can
Get some
someone do a
baby oil
wellness
out
check
for-
on Jackson Jack, please? Something's wrong with that boy. He's just not. He's not right. He's not a titty dance.
Titty dance, baby.
Well, sad I could probably do that, but I'm not
Oh,
going
that titty
to.
dance.
No, I'm not going.
Fuck. All right, let's get out of this quickly.
Let's get popping, boys. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, family, and neighbors about it, baby. And we will catch you guys next time over at DEADPIT.com.
Oh, yes, my favorite documentary. Into the Pit, the shocking story of DEADPIT.com is back out on DVD. Yes, me and my Undertaker. We love watching it. It's a heartfelt, emotional documentary about a couple of hillbillies in eastern Kentucky that started their very first radio show. Oh, yeah. Get your copy today. Into the pitthemovie.com. Buy 4 or 5 copies, yes. Get them autographed. Into the pitthemovie.com. Oh, yes.
I want all these people to click everything they're supposed to click.
You haven't been liking them, you haven't been subscribing to them, you haven't clicked the bell or notification or anything like that.
Folks, why don't you click the like button?
Do you hate us? Do you not want to see us succeed?
Why don't you click the heart button?
Is this something that you have against our particular show?
Why don't you subscribe?
You should click on one of them buttons right now if you want us to continue to bring greatness into your life.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit radio shirts. You can get Last South on the left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're going to love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Special thanks goes out to our supporters on Patreon. You know what kind of stuff you can get on Patreon, Uncle Bill, starting at only $1 a month?
What's that?
Access to every Dead Pit show since 2005. We got almost 200 fan commentaries that we've done over the decades.
Here's what other fucking Patreons do. They're like, hey, give us money and then we'll let you see a video early that we're going to release like a fucking week from now, and then that's all we're going to give you. Meanwhile, we have a literal jukebox full of songs, thousands of reviews. I don't even know how many shows are up on there now that we've done over the years.
Hundreds of thousands.
You need to figure this out now and subscribe to us on Patreon and YouTube and Instagram and help us to 1 million. The road to 1 million subscribers starts today.
So DEADPIT on Patreon.com. Join today. Tiers start at only $1, but I'd recommend at least the $10 tier.
You can do 50. The stock